Hey y'all, it's me again, Joey.
Well, ready to let them loose?
Yep, that's it. Let's see if they make us run.
Oh,
Probably so.
yeah, that one tried to get after him, but other than that, what can you expect? I mean, can you blame them? Oh yeah, they're getting after us now. Go, Joey, go!
Hey man!
Hey, man, buddy. I'm gonna get in the truck. You gotta go back and get your camera.
But also, just get as many as you can off the one next to it. Get out.
You gotta move forward.
Do that side again. Y'all ready? Let's get started. And here we are. Hello, everybody. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we got it going now. Hope everybody over the chat's doing good. How you doing, Mr. JW?
Almost perfect.
Me too. But my wife never agrees with me.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hey, we got several people over here already. And I try to keep up with names. I'm gonna get in trouble again. I see Gunline made a comment about Roll Tide. Are they playing tonight with LSU? Is that tonight?
I thought they'd already played. I thought LSU got them. I don't know.
They should have. I hadn't kept up with none of it, but LSU ain't got nothing this year. Anyway, you've been playing in the bees?
I have been, Joey, and I've got my bees pretty well finished, closed up for winter. Now I'm got me a new project going. I'm making fondant. Fondant, yeah. Matt's my mentor. He's I've had some good and little good and quite a bit of bad, but I'm about to get it worked out, I think. So it's something that's kind of interesting. It's kind of tough to make and do it right. So
yeah, I'd just soon buy it if I was going to use it. I think I'd just soon pay somebody to make it for me.
You know,
I know that.
You know,
I used some of that Matt had, and that was pretty good stuff.
Well, I've got some like it and some not like it. It's
yeah.
I've made 4 batches here in the last day and a half, and I've got 1 good one, 2 medium ones, and 1 throwaway one. So, but my last batch turned out like I wanted it to. It's hard to get it to the consistency I want it to be. You know, I don't want it. It's awful easy to get too hard. You know, where it's more like just a straight old candy board. You know, so I'm trying to get one where it'll be the same consistency as about what that Hive Alive is. I'm gonna start at it again in the morning and I'll see what happens. So
are you trying to make a whole lot at one time or start off in a little small?
Well, I started off with 5. I went to 10. Tomorrow I'm going to start on a 20-pound batch.
Okay.
I'm getting my nerve up. Actually, these smaller bunches, as I'm moving up, it seems to be a little easier. It handles it, you know, the heat a little better. If you got a small batch, you just got to have your heat right on the money, and it's got to stay right on the money to turn out good. It's awful easy to get it too hot. with small batches.
Yeah.
So
Let me see if I can pin this link. I think it pinned.
well, one thing about that side of the river, when he gets over, there's a lot of it stirring. He can stir a lot of air. That guy can.
Yeah.
You better get out here and defend yourself. Get home, get on here, because I'm fixing to lay the hammer on you, buddy.
Did you see that little video Mike Berry put out about the Mississippi convention?
did not. I seen your video today with your.
Yeah. He put it out later this afternoon or this evening.
Yeah.
He showed them two big extractors that Hilco's got. Man, them things is awesome. I don't need to be wanting one of them.
I don't think I need one either.
They nice looking. I hadn't been paying attention. 43 people in here. Just wants.
They're trying to tell you pinned the wrong thing. I don't know.
It kept moving on me, and I didn't even look at it after I pinned it.
He said you pinned DC, one of DC's posts. I don't know.
I don't even see it. Okay, let me go back to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep, it did. It jumped again about time I went to click on it. Let's see where we at. Let me try it again. Well, let me go out and go back in. Gonna be one of those nights, huh?
I'm looking at a way.
It just jumped again. All right, that one won't even let me pin it. I'm gonna have to do it again, I guess. There it goes. Now it'll give me the option. All right, somebody tell me I got it right this time.
Yeah, Brent. Yeah, everybody's saying you got it now. So.
All right. Now somebody needs to come in. Did you see the little video that Keith put out?
I haven't. You know, I've been pretty busy. I
that
just
was a good one.
The one that you made.
Yeah.
Whenever you made it on your coverings underneath your hives and stuff. I didn't even watch all of it. So. Hey, Brad. How you, buddy? We're supposed to get some weather starting. Well, it's supposed to kind of start. The fronts are hitting here in about an hour, supposedly. It's supposed to here.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have a high Monday, a high of 37. And a low down in the 20s. But for a couple of days, and it's supposed to get back in the 60s again. So we'll see what happens.
I-37. That's on up there. I pinned that one that Brent Wells is asking Tom.
Yeah, I see that.
I pinned it just in case he wants to wait till he gets.
I think, well, you'll be on here in a little bit, Brent.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that they just use them once, maybe, but I may be wrong unless you scur them. Pretty well gets all the juice out of them.
yeah. I've got one store that I sell my creamed honey at. That's my son's store. I keep a little bit in there. It don't move very much around here. It's in Mount Herman. And that's one of them little communities you can't get there from everywhere.
Drop in by helicopter.
Okay, Brent said they answered him.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty sure of that, but I didn't.
But didn't they tell him that they wanted it back or something where they could do something with that honey flavor that's kind of impregnated in the
I
drum?
think it was some individuals wanting to try something with it. If I remember,
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
it wasn't the. I may be wrong on that. They also let them get on here and lie for themselves.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
that might have been somebody else
Yeah.
saying that. What's up, man?
Not much.
Are
I got to put my
you-
glasses on. It kind of looks fuzzy. I was
If,
trying to make
if I
sure it
look
worked.
fuzzy, if you made me look fuzzy anyway, it would help.
Hey, it's disappearing. I had to put my dirt rooster hat on.
Yeah,
It's been a while. I figured I'd log in since you act like y'all were having trouble.
there you go.
No,
Sometimes we need some help.
I got to mute that TV.
I just got your text message on the meeting.
Yeah. We went down to Purvis the other night.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I do know what I was thinking. I don't know why I was thinking it, but I thought they had decided not to have it because of the Mississippi Convention. Maybe I had that mixed up with another meeting somewhere.
I don't know. He got a hold of me about a week or so or two ago and wanted to know if I'd come talk. So we put something together and went down there and talked.
Yeah, if I knew it, I'd have probably showed up.
They could have put you up there in front of everybody.
Didn't
Hey, Mr.
know.
JW, I know you don't probably know me, but I've seen you a lot.
well, that's not for the best, you know.
Jeffrey's been on here a couple times, so
Yeah, I remember him.
okay. That's the honey spoon man.
I may start making more appearances. I'm down to about 120 days to being a full-time beekeeper.
That's not
All
good.
right.
I can be broke. I seen somebody say hey to me, but I ain't figured out how to comment on this thing.
Well, all you gotta do is go down and work
On
through
most of them.
and hit the arrow.
Yeah, you see what on
That's good. That's one of our buddies out in Virginia. That's Clay Bunner.
you see down on the right hand bottom corner. Oh, wrong button.
Wrong button. Hey, Rodney. Here he comes back.
I see a box with an arrow.
Not that
Get
one.
wrong button again. You'll fit right in with us. Joey's a little better than I am. I'm able to do anything.
Well, good evening, everybody.
If you see the comments, it should be it says post a comment right down at the bottom.
I don't. I see the microphone, camera, stuff like that to the bottom, and over on the right, I see myself that says you're in the show.
All right. Below that, there should be a little bracket to put your mouse in, or whatever you want to call it.
My finger. I'm on my iPad.
Oh.
Oh well, you probably won't be able. You may not be able to respond on some of them. Some of
I
the
commented.
iPads don't
Used to
pick
could
up that
comment
comment.
on it, but oh well. Y'all needed somebody on here to mess things up a little bit anyway.
Well, we're already messed up.
We started messing up before we ever went live. That ain't nothing.
JW, aren't you from Missouri?
Well, no. I'm on
Don't
the,
make you mad now.
I'm on the clean side of the river.
Okay.
The dirty side. I'm in southern Illinois.
Oh, I got you. My wife's from Wisconsin. We come back buying honey from Wisconsin and Illinois and Missouri and Arkansas.
Well, depends. You probably come down. Did you come down 57 out of?
55.
Okay, you went pretty close to me. 55 runs over towards St. Louis. 57 comes down the center part of Illinois. I'm kind of in the southeastern part of Illinois. I'm 60 miles from Kentucky and 25 miles from Indiana. So.
Yeah, we stop in Sykeston or Cape Girardeau to spend the night a lot of times.
That's over on 55. Yes, that's on the dirty side. Missouri's the dirty side of the river.
Hey. Somebody says you won't really admit from being from Missouri.
Well, that's my old buddy Matt. He won't. I'm really from there, though. I'm glad to really be from there. That's a good place to be from. No, they're good people. I like to aggravate them. They're all my buddies. I get over it quite a bit.
I bought some East Prairie honey.
Yeah.
A lady was selling some at a farmer's market, but it was from East Prairie. That's not where I was at, but.
Where was you at in Wisconsin? You got family up there, you say?
In-laws up there, Colby, Wisconsin, just to the west of Wausau,
Okay.
in between Wausau and Eau Claire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, wouldn't be. Are you sure on the Eau Claire part of it?
Yeah, Interstate 29. It runs. U.S. Highway 29 runs between Wausau and Eau Claire, and she's about halfway in between the two.
Eau Claire's getting a good ways up there. Wausau's not that far, so that's the reason I was asking.
Yeah, we where Colby cheese comes from, little town. Probably about 3 hours north of Madison.
Yeah.
I'm just north of Joey, just about 2 miles out of Louisiana over in the Mississippi.
Oh, got you. You're pretty close to I call him Southern Russell Amon.
Mr. Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 15 miles from me.
Yeah. Well, I'll try not to hold that against you. They're good people.
I let him in the car with me last night, so.
Uh-oh.
Southern Russell's a fine fella. I won't say too much about Joey.
Thursday night. I'm sorry about that. It was Thursday, but somebody had to keep me safe down there in Purvis.
He was your bodyguard. Yeah, I wish I'd have went. I tell you what, I was looking for something on my email, and I hardly ever go in my emails. And I was looking for something, and I saw that link they had sent about the meeting, and I said, "What is this?" And I saw where it said about who was going to be talking and everything. And I told my wife, I said, "Well, I messed up bad." She said, "How'd you do that again?" I said, "I thought they had postponed or canceled the November meeting because of the Mississippi Convention, but here it is. They didn't."
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably missed a good meeting. Probably. Did y'all go eat afterwards at
We did.
Petunias?
Well, yeah.
Man,
I don't know about a good meeting since I kind of throwed myself out there and put together a little PowerPoint that kind of went all over the place. Had to get the projector working. Train come through. GPS kicked in on my phone. I mean, it was all kinds of, but it was good. We had a good time. They needed somebody to liven it up a little bit.
yeah. They have a good crowd.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
too many for the guy standing up in front of everybody. No, no, they had pretty much the same crowd probably.
Yeah. Um. Now, Mr. JW. Now, Jeff is the one that said this before. He said it in meetings before, but if he's getting close to retirement, his wife does a lot of the beekeeping.
She does.
And she's probably, I'm going to say this, just repeating what I've heard him and her talk about. She's probably going to run him out of the bee yard if they try to work in the same bee yard.
That's why I'm starting more than 1 yard.
Well, you're lucky. All I can say.
They do it differently. Each one of them got their own way of doing things.
That's that Southern Yankee thing going on.
I got you. I know all about that kind of stuff also.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about Florida.
Yeah, I lived down there for a while, and I go back and forth to Georgia quite a bit.
So, I got a question, and I posed this Thursday night. You know how if you keep feeding the honey bees sugar water, or whatever you may be feeding them, they turn that into a little bit of honey, right? They'll store it.
Yeah.
If you feed them too long, they'll fill up your supers, right? If you feed them all year long, don't slack up. What happens when you have honeybee hives next to a sugarcane mill plant, like a big?
I can't answer that. I've never been around one.
We got a jar from Lafayette, Louisiana that tastes like sugarcane.
Huh.
I just wonder if that's. I mean, would you consider that real honey?
No.
I don't know. I don't know how. It depends on how you describe in real, because if they put their enzymes in it and everything, it's not natural honey.
I mean, they're not collecting nectar to get it; they're collecting juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it tastes good. They didn't have labels on it. They're not selling it, but
Yeah.
they was giving it out.
Yeah. That probably only happens certain time of the winter, don't it? When they probably got a lot of that going on, they taking it in.
They love it.
Is there a mill in Lafitte over there?
Lafitte, I don't know, but I know from Crowley coming back this way, there's all kind of sugarcane mills, big plants. They love the juice after it's squeezed out, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend in Summerall. That's what he was feeding them for a while. Had an old cane mill on the property, and he was squeezing out the cane and feeding them the juice.
Hmm.
I think it would just have to fall in line with like sugar water, though. I just don't,
Yeah, probably so.
you know, you'd have to cut it off after a while.
Well, you know, I got a few bees on one little place by a guy's garden. He wanted some for his garden, and that's one I call my Taylor yard. He's got sugar cane there, and he's supposed to be. I thought it by now he would already cut it and processed it, but it was still standing. Last time I went over there, checking mowing the yards.
It'd be a good time to make up a good batch of it.
Yeah, I kind of was hoping I could video him doing doing that process. Might put something in there.
DC, I think I could be wrong on this. I'll probably get 50 comments that tell me how silly I am, but I think both of those sugars, whether it comes from canes or from sugar beets, has all been bleached, to get it all good and white. It doesn't come out of the mill at a pure white like it is when you buy it at the grocery store or wherever you buy it.
I remember we used to take field trips every year and with the FFA, and every year we would go to this guy's farm, and they were processing sugar cane, making syrup, and I can remember loving to drink that cane juice when they were squeezing it out. Just they'd give you little small cups of it to taste it. I can't stand the taste of it now. I used to love to eat sugar cane, but
As you get older, your taste changed. I think
yeah,
mine has on certain things. Well, about everything. I was telling the wife there last night, stuff just don't taste the same to me anymore.
yeah. They say your body or your system, what you likes and dislikes on things, on foods and stuff like that, changes about on average every 7 years.
I've only got about 2 or 3 changes left to go then. I hope. Got that many. Oh, not really. I don't. Whatever
I thought
happens, hasn't. I don't worry about it.
I made it to the comments, but I guess not. Oh well. Maybe next time.
There he is.
You said he's from the dirty side of the river?
Yeah.
He looks like he is, doesn't he? With his hat on backwards like some teeny bopping kid.
It's on backwards because Melissa probably knocked it around that way.
She did. She's fiery.
She's almost like a hurricane, huh?
Yeah, that's about right. Hey, did you see that? Speaking of that, did you see that one picture that I sent to the messenger chat with that one guy that was wearing the shirt?
Yeah.
I stopped him and asked him about that.
I heard it.
What did he have that name for? Did he tell you?
So the name Melissa in Greek means honeybee.
Oh.
And he said that was on their his wife was there representing the Highest for Heroes program. I guess she's the state lead for Illinois. And he was sitting kind of up there in front of me, and I said, "Hey," I said, "Where the back of his shirt says where's Melissa?" So I said to him, "I'm like, where's Melissa?" I mean, I don't know the guy. I just asked him, like, "Where's Melissa?" And he turns around and he looks at me, and I'm just smiling at him. And then he said, he started to tell the story. He said, well, you know what? He goes, my wife would be able to tell the story better than I would. She's in the other room where the vendors are at the Highs for Heroes table. Just ask her. I said, okay. And then I don't think there was much of a story to it other than he said that the name Melissa in Greek is honeybee. And I don't know. She had some sort of small story about their club or something like that kind of went along with it. But anyway, I just thought it was funny when I seen the shirt. That's all.
I see Russell's in here. Oh, your bodyguard, Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Russell, I can't send you nothing, so yeah. When I touch on it, it wants me to sign in. I guess it wants me to go through. I may not have went through YouTube or something. I don't know. I went through Google, signed in with Google, so I don't know if it won't let me
Yeah,
go.
that's usually where you got to go.
I get to the point where I see the comments, but I fear if
I
I
wanted-
touch that join button, it's gonna knock me out again.
Yeah, I wanted to show Sandy. There is the smoker. Whoops, I keep missing it. I'm getting worse and worse. Smoker she sent.
Yeah, you missed it. We did samples of creamed honey over there.
Yeah, who brought it? You did?
Yeah. Some cinnamon, peanut butter, and a regular one.
I just emptied that chocolate y'all gave me a couple months ago. That one she was experimenting with.
Yeah.
Not chocolate, coffee.
It had to be coffee. I don't think we're
Yeah.
doing a chocolate.
It was the coffee.
Yeah. So far, cinnamon and coffee is the best one, probably.
Okay.
Greg Dunn, was he there?
Yeah, he was there. Greg.
Yeah. He makes a good chocolate. It was a chocolate one. My granddaughter took that one from me. I got a chocolate from him. Seemed like a lemon. I got about 3 or 4 from him one time.
There you go.
It's the kind of flowers what causes most of that.
Mhm.
You know what they most of your honey crop come from?
And that was one of the notoriously fast, crystallization.
They say just a couple of weeks on it, huh?
Yeah. I don't know where
Brad's got it.
I don't know what this.
Yeah, we bought one of them 9-gallon creamers. That thing is something else.
I'd like to have one, but I can't sell enough of it to justify it.
What is it? Onions? Cucumber? Put it on pretty small.
I don't know where the nearest farmer's market around me would be. I'd have to travel to somebody else's territory, try to find farmer's markets.
Goldenrod, I wouldn't suspect that would be a source of real fast crystallization. just like Matt's saying there, high dextrose level in the nectar possibly. Just that's
Yeah.
where it would come from. But I wouldn't think goldenrod would make it crystallize in 10 days.
I don't
And I
pull
don't
enough
get that much.
our goldenrod to know.
We don't get that much nectar from it in my area. I can tell you that. Not enough to. A lot of pollen, but very little nectar.
Hmm.
I don't know. I seen this. You just had a high nectar, whatever source it came from.
Yeah, now that goldenrod where they're at is probably a lot different from any goldenrod that I get down here.
Yeah, there's several different
Yeah.
species of goldenrod. We've got 3 or 4 in my area. Baker, I'm going to say that you can get people that's experienced with honey not to buy some crystallized honey on occasion, maybe, but you're not going to get some newbie to buy it. They're afraid of it. I think it's ruined unless you tell them that they can warm it up and then it'll go back to the liquid stage.
Brad, if you come on here and talk, you won't have to do so much typing.
Yeah, if we get him on here, he can take my place. I've got guests. I need to move on. Actually, I wanted to help you get started if somebody got on here. I have a house guest. You're chewing too loud, Thomas.
Sorry.
You got to start chewing less loudly. You're the only one on. It's just
What are you eating?
Salad.
Oh,
It's not even crunchy salad. I think he's lying to me.
I thought when he's leaning over like that, I could hear Melissa over to the side that she was maybe hand feeding you.
She is. That's okay, isn't it?
Six bees. Whatever turns you on.
Well, that doesn't really do it, but
Well, I didn't mean in that respect.
oh,
Get
in the refrigerator. Yeah, that'd do it.
yeah. Tell her to freeze it if she's not going to use it. Then it won't crystallize.
What's the freezing point on honey? Somebody tell me. What's the freezing temp?
Good question.
Honey don't really freeze.
I've never seen any that was froze solid.
Tell them it does freeze if you put it in the nitrate. What did Jeremy do to it? The honey sticks.
Oh, I had a buddy of mine put some of our honey sticks in nitroglycerin.
Well, now that's
No.
liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen. I don't know why I'm saying glycerin. Liquid
Oh, yeah.
nitrogen.
Well, you know what that stuff is? Liquid nitrogen. It'll run from 40 to 60 below.
Yeah.
In a nitrogen tank.
What he uses it to freeze his goats from, right?
Yeah, he uses the tanks, and JW, you may have dealt with this before too.
Yeah,
actually,
I kept all my semen in liquid nitrogen.
yeah,
That's how you keep semen.
he does the same thing for his goat breeding operation.
Yeah, artificial insemination. You keep that.
It does freeze at that temperature.
Yeah, he was being a smarty pants, and what he did is he pulled a straw out, which was one of my honey straws, not one of his semen straws, right? And he cuts the top, and on camera he eats it like this, thinking he's being a funny guy. And everyone,
I'm gonna tell you what, that'll burn. I mean, that'll burn you. That's terrible cold. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to put a straw on my tongue. You know?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got a couple guys down here that bottle their honey. Some plastic bottles, some glass jars. And as soon as they get it bottled, they put it in a freezer until they get ready to go to market.
Yeah.
And the night before the market, they'll get it all out, get it ready.
It staves off granulation.
Yep.
My honey freezes in the winter, leave it in my truck or an unheated building. And I mean, it can be minus 40 here. It's fine. Glass jars or no. Like honey doesn't have that property where it expands like water does. So it doesn't break jars or anything.
I've never seen frozen honeys, but I've never been privy to. I hope I never see 40 below too.
Well, it doesn't and yeah, I don't think you'd know if you saw frozen honey because it just gets a lot thicker.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of seems frozen, I suppose, but it just gets really, really thick and it'll seem like it's solid. But I've had honey in my freezer, like say in a frame of comb, and even in a deep freeze where it's pretty cold, it's I think they're like minus 16, minus 19 or something in a freezer. And you leave that in there long enough, it will slump and it'll drip into the bottom of the freezer, even at that temperature.
Yeah.
So it's still fluid. It doesn't seem that way, but it is.
Yeah. Clay's comment there, I tell everybody to eat it faster than it won't crystallize.
That's right.
We've also had some people say, hey, I take a tablespoon a day. It's good for you. And I said, 2 tablespoons is better.
That's right. 1 tablespoon is good for you, and the second one's good for me. So the sugar thing, and this is again something that's you'd think about in my part of the world. I made the big mistake one year. I had some syrup left over. I just dumped it. Like I just dumped it down the driveway or something, and boy, that was a big mistake because the snow. Usually in the winter, you'll get some snow and then it all packs down and it just makes a hard surface. Well, the snow wouldn't freeze. It wouldn't freeze on it. It keeps it from firming up and freezing. And not only that, but then the next summer when it all thawed, boy, did that ever stink because it all fermented, right? But I was going to say that around here, that trees have sap, right? Well, what's sap made of? Well, sap's made of sugar. And the trees here have sap, and the sap has sugar in it, so in the winter the sap doesn't expand and destroy the tree. Now, having said that, I have heard it in the winter gets cold enough that I've heard that happen, that a tree will crack from the cold. But in general, the sap, because it has sugar in it, prevents the tree from being destroyed by an expanding liquid as it freezes. Yeah, for sure.
I watched that video of Keith's today, and if y'all hadn't watched it, you need to go watch it. I enjoyed it. It brought back some memories. My dad used to have an old I think it was a 62 Galaxy, Ford Galaxy 500. And that car he showed in that video brought back a lot of memories.
Buddy in high school had a 65 Galaxy 500, 306. Well, that was
first new vehicle I ever bought. I was in the service. I bought a 1964 Ford. Give $2,700 for it.
And when was that?
1964.
Oh.
That's the first new one I ever had.
Yep. That 62 Galaxy was Daddy's first new car, and I won't ever forget they had just started putting those air conditioners in them to get these little add-on air conditioners you'd put under the dash, and it had that thing in it. Boy, we was uptown. About a year later, he bought him a. He was doing good. A year later, he bought his first brand new truck, a '63. I think it was a '63 Ford F-100.
Alicia and Brian, I'm one of those people. I don't like honey. I don't care for it at all. It's too sweet for me. That'll bring out some comments. I do not like honey. Don't care for it. Taste of it.
Me either. I only go through about a pound a week.
Mm-mm.
I don't have a good comeback for that. I just okay, or I'll say, "Oh, you're one of those."
No, I have people. I sell all my honey right here on premises, So I have people say all the time, "Well, don't you eat that stuff?" I said, "Lord, no, I don't like it. I don't. I'm telling them the truth."
I like it. I just don't eat it. Market, I'll call across to somebody, especially if it's a young person. I'll call across them. I'll say, "Come and try the honey. All the cool kids are doing it."
Yeah. Mhm.
I would love to eat more. Oh, it's so delicious. Well, my honey is. Maybe if I had your honey, JW, I wouldn't want to eat it either. But mine is pretty delicious.
Yeah. Everybody says mine's good, but you can.
Your customers haven't had mine though, so
Yeah,
you know
that's true.
how good can it be?
I think most of it comes basically the same sources. I've got a lot of clover.
I literally tell if I talk to somebody and they come and buy honey or whatever, and they tell me that, well, I usually get honey from my friend or my neighbor or something. I literally tell them every time, "Will you apologize to them for me?" And they say,
Yeah.
"Well, why?" I said, "Because after you taste this honey, you won't be buying honey from them anymore." Oh, that's so funny. And then they come back and they say, "Yeah, I don't buy that honey anymore." Because it's true. It's not just something that I say. It's
Well, Joey, you got some backup here. I'm gonna check out on you because I have a house guest.
All right. Well, I hate to see you go, but
No.
glad you got company.
Yeah.
okay, JW. Take care.
Have a good
No.
night, JW.
See you on the next one.
To help you get started, so you got plenty of backup there. Thank you. See y'all.
See you later.
That's what I thought I was doing, helping you get started. You said nobody couldn't log in.
Jeffrey Thomas, I don't think we've met. How are you?
We haven't doing good. I watched plenty of your videos.
Oh, you watch? Okay,
I've,
thank
I've
you.
met you on your tube.
So you know me. I just don't know you.
Yeah, I think the first one I saw you was making somebody some kind of chocolate dessert, or you poured a lot of chocolate on top of these
Oh, one of
bar
my
things.
Christmas. Yeah, I look
Yeah,
for I look for content at Christmas time because there's nothing happening. So I sometimes do a baking video.
I told my wife you're gonna have to make some of that since it tuned in and that was the first thing you were doing.
That's a pretty delicious thing to do with your honey.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. So where are you at?
I don't know if you know where Joey's at, but I'm just over across the
Roughly.
Mississippi line from Joey.
Okay.
How Louisiana makes a boot shape, I'm sitting right on the big toe of it.
I see.
I'm under the big toe and he's on top of the big toe.
Well, better being under the thumb, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you
Or
pull up a
behind the 8
map,
ball.
if you pull up a map, we are on the map. We got a little post office. That's about it. Sandy Hook, Mississippi.
That's about my little town. It's a post office. That's about it.
My little community don't even have a post office. We had to borrow one in town next door.
You have to bore their post office. We get Amazon delivery to our house now, which is quite surprising.
Yeah. I get Amazon every now and then.
Yeah, but I'm in the boonies. Well, no, I'm not in the boonies, but you can see it from my house.
Huh.
Hey, we're about 20 miles from anything.
I'm about 30 miles from, about 800,000 population city.
800,000?
Yeah, I think it's about 800 now.
We may have 8,000.
Which for cities is pretty small for America, but it's kind of a medium-sized city in Canada, I suppose. Big city in Canada is 1.5 million.
Matter of
There are,
fact, speaking of Amazon, they were supposed to deliver to me today, and I hadn't seen that product. They, according to Amazon, they attempted to deliver today at 5:29. Unfortunately, we ran into an issue.
there was a dog or a cat.
Yeah,
Couldn't find your address.
couldn't find me. What's weird to me that this happens mostly with, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but for whatever reason, I won't even say which company it is, but I have 3 different companies that deliver here other than USPS. And for some reason, some of them on my driveway, it's about a quarter mile long, named after me. And there's 3 houses on that road. 2 of those houses have their numbers marked, and they still bring items to the wrong house.
That sounds like UPS, is what that sounds like.
Actually, UPS pretty much gets it straight.
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
they got a fill-in driver or something, they might get confused
I
or
only have
just
experience with UPS and FedEx here
yeah,
and Amazon.
yeah. FedEx will get it wrong every now and then, but I got a cousin that drives FedEx. When she drives, she'll get it right. She knows where everybody here lives,
Yeah.
so she'll get it right. But if it's somebody coming in from a different direction, they might get lost.
Well, I'm thankful that they'll courier here. We're maybe 1.5 miles off, fairly main highway that heads up to the northern communities. So most of the couriers will travel up that highway. And it wasn't until last December we had a major postal strike. And about 3 weeks we waited for service, and Amazon took 3 weeks and they figured it out. And they've been delivering to my house ever since. And that company, I just am amazed with that company.
Yeah.
They,
They see-
they figure things out, and they don't always get it right, and they're constantly changing things for the better. Right?
Now, see what I ought to do if I didn't already need this product. I got one, uh, a booster to start a vehicle with. I got
Oh, yeah.
one I keep in my truck, and I've been wanting to get one for each my granddaughter's car, the granddaughter that actually lives with us, and my wife's vehicle, and I just been putting it off. Well, the granddaughter needed one in my wife's car this past day before yesterday. But anyway, I ordered 2 for them, and they were supposed to come today. What I ought to do is cancel that order now and tell them didn't get here on time. So just cancel it and then run down to the store and pick up the same product at the store.
Right. Yeah, I'm a fan of those things. I wasn't, I was always the booster cables and the other vehicle kind of a guy, and then I used one. Somebody let me use one to boost a car one day, and I thought, oh, that's nice. I
It
need to
is.
have one of those, and I own about 3 of them, I think now.
Yep.
Uh, the
The one
latest
in
one
my
is a
truck,
little NOCO. It's a little
yeah.
power pack.
The one in my truck is a lot bigger than I need for any of my vehicles, but I got it just in case somebody had a big diesel rig that needed cranking.
Is it like a 2,000 amp or more than
Yeah,
that?
it's a 3.
3,000.
It'll
Yeah.
crank a diesel,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Mine. When I bought mine, I asked the guy, which one should I get? And they said, well, what do you drive? And I said, well, the biggest thing I drive is my 1-ton truck, which has a six, uh, 6-liter diesel. And he said, okay, we'll get the 2,000, and that's what it's
yeah.
recommended for. And yeah, it's got some snap. I've used it a couple times.
And I got 2 tractors, so I figured I might need it one day on my tractor. So,
Yeah.
but I got the 2000s. I had one, and in about a year or two, I gave it to my son,
Mm.
and I was just gonna get me another one. I just kind of kept putting it off, for my wife's car. And now I got 2 orders. So
I got in a few years ago when the big ones, the great big ones with the gel cell battery in them and whatnot, and they work
yeah,
great. They're 1,000 amp units, and they have a few more features. They get the little air compressor in the back, and
yeah,
and the one I have actually has a small inverter in the bottom, so you can run some 120-volt stuff, not heavy duty stuff, but
yeah,
some lights or something
yeah. That one
like
I
that.
got, you can plug. They do this on everything nowadays. You can plug your cell phones in it,
Cell phones, yeah,
some other items.
yeah.
Got a little flashlight on it.
I keep mine in my truck plugged into the auxiliary outlet, so it's on, charging all the time.
Place.
So it should
I
be
ordered
in
one of those.
tip-top form when I need it.
Yeah.
I've had the small ones, but they don't start my diesel truck.
So just to get an idea of sizing, what size of diesel truck and what size of booster do you find is inadequate?
Well, I had bought one for starting cars and didn't realize it. I got the 6.6 liter Duramax.
Right, so that's
Yeah.
probably about a similar load as my 6-liter
yeah.
Cummins.
I didn't realize I needed a bigger size.
Okay.
It'd start my wife's car, but it wouldn't start my truck.
It's probably about a 500 amp or so,
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
They've come a long way with them things over the last 8 years or so.
Those lithium batteries for sure. They're
Yeah.
very compact and very dangerous too.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this. I just watched a video just like 2 days ago. I've got fire extinguishers in here. I've got them all over my travel trailer. Every compartment has a little fire extinguisher in it somewhere. I got one in my truck, one in my car, and I never realized it until I saw that video that a regular fire extinguisher won't put a lithium battery fire out.
Almost nothing will.
Yep. But they got one that's supposed to be. I see Bob in here. Hey, Bob. They got one that supposed to be. I wouldn't say strictly for that, but it actually put a lithium battery out.
Yeah, lithium
Never
fire
realized
is quite incredible. My wife just handed me a snack, so I'm going to turn my camera off so you don't have to watch me eat.
That's what I was doing.
I thought that's what we're
Hey,
supposed to do
Brad.
on all these chats is eat.
Hey,
Well,
Brad, this was my snack. Is it reading?
Hawthorn honey,
Well, Hawthorne honey is a
orange blossom. I see.
yes, sir. This is California orange blossom.
Huh.
Orange blossom,
I've
in
heard of
my
that stuff.
opinion, is amazing honey. That and Tupelo is really good. Let me think of another one of my favorites. I like that mesquite. I think it's mesquite that Philip had.
Hey, Mike.
That's really
How's
good.
everyone?
Hey, Mike.
How's it going?
Hey, Joey, I put a message in the private chat for you.
Okay. Is that some you sent me today?
Yeah, it was earlier. There was like a bunch of pictures, but there was a couple in particular of two ladies in there getting in something. If you've seen them.
Let me see. Like I may have to pull them to my computer.
Okay.
Y'all continue on, and Sandy's got a question there too. While I'm doing this, if y'all want to, I think it's a question. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be any different than them people putting dry sugar on top of the colony. But I'm just curious, Icy Mountain Honey, where are you located at? Maybe I should know this and I just don't know. I'm just kind of trying to determine if you're in a really cold climate, because if it freezes, it's not going to crystallize, was the point I was going to make with that. Now, if it stays somewhere around the 50th degree mark to 55 and it has a high glucose D content in it, it'll crystallize much faster at that. But if you get it down below 32, it won't crystallize.
So Icy Mountain's asking about if the bees can access granulated honey. They can, but again, it depends on the nectar source, because granulated honey isn't all equal. Some of it will be like cement and some of it won't. Canola honey, again, I mentioned, it granulates fast and it turns into cement. So it makes a really terrible winter feed because the bees can't process that. It's probably worst case scenario.
They would have to be able to add water back to it to hydrate it so that they can
at least
digest it appropriately, and then technically invert the sugar.
They can, like they will chip it out and haul it out the front door.
Will they?
Yeah.
People like to put candy boards on colonies around here.
Yeah.
And there's different versions of that candy board, right? Some of it's cooked down to more of a liquid and then poured as a hot syrup into a shim board of sorts,
right? And
then let it harden up, literally like a brick or like like a mortar almost, basically. And I mean, bees will eat it. I mean, I don't do it. It's too much work, and I don't see the benefit of it. I would rather feed syrup heavily until they're full, or in an emergency case, throw some fondant on there. I mean, drop a pack of this on there. I mean, depending on how many colonies you have. If you're a commercial operator, this is not affordable.
No, fondant is probably, in my opinion, the best supplemental feed in cold weather. I've used what I call sugar cakes, but it's just sugar with enough water in it to make it cake together.
Yeah.
Very little water. You can take, I don't know what it is, 10 pounds of sugar and put a tablespoon of water in or something like that. Put it in a thin layer cookie sheet or something, and then let it sit for a couple days or so and let it dry. And it's really hard, but it's brittle, so you can break it. But it's hard, so it's easy to handle in a sheet kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And the bees use that. I've used that in the spring a number of times.
Melissa and I did that for the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 years of it. And we would actually, it wasn't just dry sugar. We would typically let me think about this. Melissa will remember.
Some kind of a vinegar or something likely.
Yes. Apple cider vinegar was one of them.
Vinegar, yeah.
I believe we added a little bit of citric acid to it. And I believe, I'd have to ask her, there was one other ingredient. This recipe came from Kent Williams. He's the commercial beekeeper in Kentucky.
Cream of tartar?
No. Let me holler at Melissa. I'll ask her, see what she says.
Yeah, DC's making the point that the sugar cakes are a good desiccant. They pull the moisture out of the air on the top of the hive.
I'm not sure. She's not around.
I think the acid.
There you go. Melissa just commented at the bottom, so she must have heard me. Honeybee Healthy was the other.
Oh, okay. So essential oil. I think the acid kind of stimulates the inversion process.
It does. Yes, it does. You're correct, Brad. And I think that was the idea behind it. I think you either had, let me see if I remember this right. Please don't quote me on this. And you all can Google me on this one. But if I remember correctly, you either, in order to invert sugar, you need to use, I believe it was acid or something lightly acidic, not straight up acid, but something acidic like vinegar, or heat. And there might have been one other thing that you can use to invert sugar. And I can't remember now what that was. But I know those two definitely work to and help to invert sugar. So basically, you're getting
enzymes
it where bees' digestive system can process the sugar.
The enzymes, like the bees use enzymes to do that. So
yes,
I don't know if that's the third thing you're trying to think of, but
that may have been what I was going for on that one.
Joey, I'm gonna have to watch from the TV. My iPad's about to die on me. So
All right.
Y'all have a good evening.
See you, Jeffrey.
See you later.
I think I got them downloaded now. Let's see.
So Melissa and I were at the Illinois State Beekeepers Conference in Springfield, Illinois. It's about 2 hours from us, just a little bit north of JW. And she was there working the honey show as, I believe it was Stuart, getting her in-service hours and such. And then I was just kind of there doing my thing. And anyway, so we got to meet up with Miss Kimberly, who lives over that direction. And she entered some things into the honey show today. And if Joey has them queued up, I'll let him pull up I took a couple pictures as she was in the front.
Let me see. I done forgot what I named the folder.
Uh-oh. You just created the folder, Joey.
I'll find it. Give me just a second.
Yeah, Paul, you're correct. The enzyme that bees add to sugar or syrup or nectar is called invertase.
You trying to share those pictures?
Joey is. I sent to him earlier.
All right.
it's something that's used in food
There she
industry,
is.
though.
That's one of the two bigger words that Miss Kimberly won. I'll let Melissa explain that one since she was there and she was able to present them to Kimberly. So that was a nice treat for Melissa as well.
So Kimberly won first place in the light extracted honey, first place in the amber extracted honey, and first place in the black jar honey. And then with the total amount of points that she accumulated, she won and her one, I believe it was her amber honey got chosen for best in show. And then because the amount of points she accumulated, she also won grand champion.
Mm-hmm.
So she got the two big ribbons, which came with cash prizes. And then she got her 3 first place ribbons also.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So she cleaned up at the honey show today.
She did.
So it was pretty cool seeing one of our regular, people that we all see in the chats win so big at the honey show.
Mm-hmm.
She was so excited.
Good job.
She was shocked. Every time we saw her, she was had a big smile on her face.
All right. I think I just showed that one, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I told her, I said, hey, that whenever That was before we're getting ready to present it.
So that little trophy there goes to the club, I think, that had the most people enter the honey show.
The most
So
participation.
that trophy travels around the state every year.
Yeah. But she was excited, and we were equally as excited that she won that. So job well done, Miss Kimberly.
Mm-hmm. And she actually did the honey show training class the day before. And she said that she really enjoyed it and she learned a lot and it was a great experience. So Hale asked, when do I get my fedora? I actually have it in the basement, but I don't get to wear it until I pass my judge test, which I won't have enough volunteer secretary and steward hours until probably the spring. So it'll be a minute.
Did I show all of them?
Yeah, that was good.
All right.
We just wanted her to get some recognition of what she had done today.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty
good.
special for her.
Mm-hmm. She was definitely excited.
I meant to get those downloaded earlier, but you know how that goes.
Oh, I get it. Lisa Pearson. Oh,
so Lisa was there, and so was KT. Yep. So Lisa and KT are from Colorado, up by Bryan. So yeah, I got to work with Lisa and KT this weekend again.
All we did was talk about Bryan Zavada.
Yeah.
No, they're great people.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've seen KT at most of the different conferences we've been to over the last half of the year, basically.
Well, she was at Georgia and she came to MSBA. Yeah. So
I feel like I've seen her somewhere else besides this one. Was there not a fourth one?
No.
We feel like I've seen her a bunch.
No. Yeah. So good job, Kimberly. Everybody clap at home. Even you at home, clap for Kimberly.
How about thumbs up?
That works too. That gets the point.
I don't want to scare the cat.
Yeah, your 18-year-old cat. Don't get him fired up.
It was 19.
19. Yeah.
Apologize.
But yeah, it was fun yesterday, and
she's right here.
I did stewarding yesterday, but today was fun, and we always learn a lot. Fun to hang out with new people. So
30 seconds after I got through showing those pictures, Lee shows up.
He was probably hanging out in the background, Joe.
Yeah, he's gonna see what happened.
But yeah, it was a fun experience.
Kimberly, we would expect that if you're going to be going to Louisville, Kentucky for the Nobby show, we're expecting that you will be entering in several things.
That's right. I was going to ask Jeff I think Jeff said that they were planning on going this year. Jeff, you still in? I don't know if he can even respond in the comments. But,
he said something about hanging out in the background, so he's probably back there.
Yeah.
So not to go off course, but Matt made a good comment up here about you guys had been talking about fondant versus sugar bricks and stuff at 809, Joey. Sandy Valley.
Let's see.
Well, and actually, to Matt's point, or that Brad and I were talking about, fondant is actually inverted sugar, so they can process it much easily.
Is this the one you're talking about?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, so that's a good point to use the fondant versus the sugar or candy board or whatever.
So, Mike, what's happening?
Not much. Putting mouse guards on. Should have been on a month ago or more.
Yeah.
Y'all get any snow yet?
Spit a little bit the other day.
Anything?
Getting a lot of, it's 30 or so in the morning.
Anything
anything
plowable or just little less? No.
I hope not. I gotta figure out where I left my plow.
Hey, Mike, you better figure out where that thing's at, buddy. I mean,
it's all right. I just spent 4 hours moving honey supers because I blocked in 2 of my shapers in my shop.
Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Yeah.
First, I had to find them. I have all my honey supers. They haven't gone where they belong. I gotta finish extracting too.
Goodness, you got a lot of work ahead of you there.
Mike, you're gonna have a hard time getting the honey out of those combs where you're at, unless you got.
I don't think so. I have two electric heaters mounted to the ceiling in that room.
Oh, okay. Well, you're in good shape then, I guess.
I can get it up to 100 if I need to.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I like 95 degrees for extracted honey. It comes out very easily. You don't have to keep slinging.
I like it too, but then I have to open all the windows while I do it.
Yeah. We had
the honey stays warm for days, so it doesn't matter.
Brian, I saw you were making those caramels, and I've been thinking about trying. I've never tried to make them before, so I was thinking about trying to make a batch here pretty soon.
Brian, I'm assuming, did you use the same recipe that Cayman had posted just not, what day? 2 day ago? I think it was 2 days ago. He posted his wife, Laurel's recipe for those caramels. Brad, I think you've talked about, you make those too. Is that right? The caramels?
Yeah. And variations, I'll pour them in a sheet, put some pecans in there, chocolate perhaps, and cut them into squares. I can maybe try one or two, but I can't eat sweet stuff like that. So I give them away. Give them to my friends for Christmas.
I like the pecan thing that you said on there. That's
I tell you what.
Oh yeah, very good. You can use walnuts too, but pecans are a little better.
Yeah, you know what? I would say walnuts for me would be a second best, but pecans, I'm into those. I like pecans and cookies and everything.
I tell you what, Jamie Wynn and Brandy, with oh my gosh, what's the name of their? Anyway, Tom will think of it. They made some of those caramels for the Nabi Honey Show last year. I think they won first place, and they were amazing. They put a little salt on the top of them, and we're friends with them, but we all stay at the same hotel when we go to Nabi.
Sweet Harlan,
yeah, Sweet Harlan honeybees. And we our whole group, Brandy had brought like extra caramels. And in the evening, we were just sitting down there talking, devouring these caramels. They were so good.
And anything she had left, I told her, I'm like, I'm taking those home. And I ate them all.
I believe you say that to anybody with sweets or cookies.
You're probably not wrong, Mike.
Seems like everything you're bringing home a batch of cookies from some show.
Yeah, I do have a sweet tooth. That's for sure.
Well, this time he didn't bring home any he brought home sweet fondant instead.
Well, that was nice.
He won this. He didn't,
I'm not sure what that would do to my gut biome. I'm not sure if that would work out well. Too much thymol in my gut.
You'd probably be buzzing around the house.
Promotes intestinal well-being.
I know Matt's tastes good. I tasted it.
Now you're sounding like JW. He'll go in there and grab something and be like, "Oh, that tastes good."
Matt says he can still taste Brandy's caramels. They were good. They were amazing.
I got some fondant from John Hill, and I tasted it's absolutely delicious.
Really?
It's really good. Yeah.
Are you talking about the stuff that he just made or that he just sourced in?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the same. It's got a yellow tinge to it.
Yeah. Is it called Turbo?
No, it was kind of a before he branded it.
Okay.
He sent it to me to try, and just to give him some feedback, see how the bees liked it and whatnot. And they ate it up. So I don't know if that's what he's branding as Turbo. But
he recently just launched that fondant, and he calls it, so his liquid feed is called Turbo.
Yeah.
And then this fondant that he's recently sourced in or having manufactured for himself, whatever it might be, is called Turbo as well.
Turbo
but
it
doesn't have any
beekeeping word of 2025, I think.
Mm-hmm. Was it Turbo Liquid, Turbo Solid?
2 vaporizers are called Turbo.
Hey, you're right.
Fondant is called Turbo. Syrup is called Turbo.
It has a good ring to it, right, Brad?
Well, I don't know.
I think so. I'd say, hey, Turbo.
I've personally never been crazy about calling things Turbo, but
Oh,
That's because I come from a little bit more of a mechanical background, and I know what that is, and
yeah.
it's not that.
Brian Cassidy.
That's the Sheldon Cooper in me. It's not a turbo.
Yeah. I don't know about you. Did I hear you say earlier you had a Ford 1-ton
you're right.
with the 6-liter diesel?
Not me. No,
No,
I think it was Jeffrey
He's
saying.
got the Ram.
Oh,
Did he have a Ford? Was it a
He had a
Ford?
Chevy. Chevy.
Yeah,
or
it was a
He had a Duramax.
it was a Duramax. He said he had.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So
No, mine's the Cummins. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm only
I don't
asking
need those extra 2 cylinders. Like you get more than 6 cylinders, you don't need.
Yeah.
Like, is that Carl? Everybody's names are so jacked
I
up
think it's
on here
Carl.
now.
I know
I think that's like that has to.
I don't know if the stream did that or the
I don't
YouTube.
know.
It's YouTube
Yeah, it's
because
on. It's the same
they're
on the
not
YouTube side. So
on StreamYard at all.
But
It's
it
YouTube.
shows up the same either way, though, to me.
well, it's weird that like some people's names are the same and some people's aren't. So I'm
I
wondering
know
if
it's
it's like
crazy.
if people's names aren't the same, maybe they're people that have accounts but not a channel. Maybe I don't know. That's
Could
just
be, and it
I
might
think
be
it's kind of your
the account
login.
name and the channel name is different.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
because yeah.
I think yours was right, Brad.
Well,
Like,
because I think it's your
There you go.
root username, and I know there was a little while ago. I mean, could have been 4 or 5 years ago. They did do a change, and they said you can pick a name if you want, like to solidify what your name is, make it mean something. So that's why I typed that B-Man
yeah.
in mine. But if you don't, then they just kind of made one up for you, like
With
Carl
the
H8538.
Yeah.
But when I first started this, they didn't have the at in front of it. It didn't show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
the
remember
name
that.
of the channel showed up.
You're right. You're right.
Mhm.
But yeah, it definitely has changed. But like I think it's the fact that mine kind of looks like some of them look, hail hives. That looks like something, and some of them don't. Like, James something,
No.
58. Uh, it's kind of weird. It's got a bunch of numbers and things. It has to do with your actual name and whether or not you chose something. I think you can change that in your YouTube settings. You can change what your kind of your I don't know what they call it. Your
Like a
name.
handle, maybe a handle or
Well,
something.
it's your official, because it shows at the top in the URL. Like if you go to my channel, it'll be, youtube.com/c/thatvman,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if anybody does that, they can see. Carl's considering it a sneak attack. They could see their name, and I think there's a setting there you can change it, but they did change recently how it displays on a YouTube video in the chat.
Before I forget it, Brad, those tops turned out good, didn't they?
I love them.
Yep.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and they should be because they cost a lot. I
lot
haven't
of
done the
work,
tally,
too.
but they cost a lot, and there's a lot of work. But I'll definitely, hopefully they work out long term. I think they
They
will.
should.
Want to make another, 16 probably next. I don't know, this winter or next
Yeah.
winter or something.
I'm glad you showed the difference in the older box and the new box that was wax dipped too.
Oh, okay.
It's got
Yeah.
nothing really to do with your lids, but the old product's still just as good a shape as the new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially
It grayed up the old stuff, just like all of my pallets and stuff. They're all gray. They kind of look like just old lumber, but they don't absorb any water from, rain, etc. So they don't rot or anything. I've never had any rot problems. in like 10
What I
years.
like about them after they've weathered a little bit, those wax dips, is they kind of blend into the background. They don't pop out at people when they
Yeah,
anybody that
nice bright yellow boxes.
deeply on their mind, you know,
Hmm.
they don't pop out to them over there.
Sure.
You feel.
Yeah,
Instagram program thing.
yeah. I got my new mouse guards that I made on today. Got all the rest of my insulation on the home yard. What were you gonna say about the mouse guards?
No, I didn't. I just said, did you? You got a
Oh,
I got
bone?
okay.
about 70 on today.
70. Shit, I did 16. I thought I had a full day. Gee.
Yeah, but when you got full-way mating nukes, takes 4
Yeah.
per box.
What are you putting on them? What kind of a mouse guard are you using?
Just a half-inch hardware cloth.
Okay, so the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it went on there fine.
I just folded a little. I fold one edge so I can use a panhead screw.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. A washer and a 1-inch pan head screw, and just screw it to the front of the box.
I only use a half-inch. I use a draw slide screw, half-inch. But I fold the wire so it makes like an 1/8-inch slot in my brake, and then I just put it in between there, so I don't need to put a washer.
I see. I ain't that fancy.
I have all this stuff. I have to use it, Brad.
Well, I have a
rule.
brake too, but I was too lazy to get it out the other side of the room. I just used a piece of plywood.
Nice, Sandy. Appreciate you coming in.
Good night.
Good night.
So anyway, then I was going to go to the out yard and do the same, but then I got lazy. It's cold today. -3 is a high today.
-3. Now that's
a little bit crazy.
Hold on a second.
30s.
It's a bit below freezing, so.
Oh, it's okay.
Probably about 28 degrees.
I have to bring attention to Brett's 6-7 comment.
26.6 degrees, Brad.
26, yeah, because it's almost 2 to 1. Like 3C is almost 6F. So, nobody knows.
What
are we looking at?
Oh, it's nonsense. Brett Wells commented
He said
to Castle
6-7.
Highs.
6-7.
So all the kids say the 6-7 down here anyway.
Oh, you know what? I heard somebody else talking about that.
So it's nonsense. It's like from a song. It doesn't actually mean anything at all whatsoever.
But you know what?
The proper comment to 6-7 is 41. So if anybody kids say 6-7, just tell them 41, and they'll be like, "How do you know that?"
I saw a video today. There's actually somebody in the Canadian Parliament, in the government, standing up and bragging about how they had some statistic that was 67, and she's standing there 67, 67, and everybody is like, you're a representative in the government of Canada, and you're standing there doing that.
Yeah,
how ridiculous are you?
You know what? I more than anybody, but honestly, in those positions, you need to be very professional. That's nonsense, right?
That's the kangaroo banana republic government we have.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Brad.
Well,
but if
it's like that,
some of the things that the kids today say don't make sense, go back and look at anything that we did in the 70s.
Yeah.
And see if that makes sense to you.
I don't remember the 70s that well, Joey.
Well, the thing though about the 6-7 thing is it literally means nothing. Like they just do it. So you're like, what does that mean?
Well,
like,
when my son did it, I literally asked a question for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm so confused right now. I'm looking for a meaning for something, and there was no meaning. They're just laughing. I'm like, what? What is the joke? I'm like,
well, that's the joke, is that you don't understand it. That's what it's funny
I
to
mean, if I'm
them.
being honest, it was a little frustrating for me, Brad. I was a little frustrated because
I
was trying to
totally
figure
get it,
something
man.
out, you know?
I'm Sheldon Cooper, right? So get that.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, right. I'm just trying to
that's me.
Yeah, make this make sense. I don't understand. And I don't know.
So the proper response is 41. Just say 41.
It's nonsense. I can't do that.
Anyway,
well, so I think Canada has a lock on stupid politicians, and no, definitely not a lock on them, but I think we're maybe the raw materials for them in the world or something like that. I don't know.
He's getting old, Brian. He's going to be yelling at kids to get off his grass soon.
Oh, I've been doing that for years. I don't want nobody to mess up my turf. I yell at the kids. I'm like, go play in the neighbor's lawn. He doesn't care about his. Go tear his up. Have you all ever heard of a gentleman by the name of Kristen Gibbons? He's out of
Crispin.
Yes. Gibbons. Yes. Purdue.
Yep.
What's that? Indiana. He gave 2 presentations today. One on the I am square, Brian, I believe. Yeah. 2 presentations. One was on queen breeding and hygiene and certain trait sets, which I had a lot of interest in, of course. And then he also gave one on drones and mating, which again, some certain topics that you just don't hear a lot about. Certain ones are really, a lot of research is done, but one that I feel like it just doesn't get, maybe it gets a little bit more now, but I feel like drones and the mating process just doesn't get a lot of light.
The only time I've ever heard a lot talked about with drones was Larry Connor, and I don't think he's on the circuit quite as much these days.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But there's the guy. Like to me, if you want somebody to talk about drones, like Crispin is really intelligent and he's a good speaker, but also a speaker on drones would definitely be Larry Connor.
So, Brad, I'm going to throw another one out to you that maybe you can look up. Is Julia Mahood. She is out of Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and she happens to be the Georgia State Beekeeper Association board president. Okay. She came to St. Louis. Was it last year in the early spring, or was it year before?
It was a year before.
So not quite 2 years ago. And she had a really entertaining presentation on drones. And she does all of her own illustrations that are hand drawn, which were absolutely fabulous. So she's very articulate. I come to know her. Bob Benny, since he's in the general area, I think she came to one of their clubs or something. He was involved in some educational source with her and knows her pretty well and had talked with her at one point in time. And he may have even had a video on her, if I remember right. And when I seen the presentation, I was like, this is really good, because for beekeepers, as a general statement, you can talk about everything scientific and the research in beekeeping, and that's great. But for most people, if you can't put that into practical use, it's no good, right? Again,
I've said that over and over and over again, and I've had arguments with some pretty intelligent science guys, and not arguments about what they know and what they're telling me is true, but arguments about what do I do with that? What do I do with that here? When I'm out here managing these, what do I do with that? Like, why are you telling me that? Break that down. Apply that to my apiary.
Absolutely.
And also that you can tell me that I'm wrong, but in my apiary, I'm right.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong about what you're telling me, but also don't tell me that it's not working in my apiary because I know it is. So if you want, but I don't know. I know by experience that it's working in my apiary. I may not know the biology behind it. I may not know all of the intricacies of bee behavior.
Sure.
So they can explain that to me perhaps, but don't tell me it doesn't that it doesn't happen, because I know
Mhm.
very well it happens. I see it all the time.
Sure.
Kind of in my apiary. So yeah, that's applied. That's academia or
Mhm.
applied.
That's right.
Yeah, and you need a balance.
Absolutely. They both have their place. This is the same
Yeah.
conversation I had with Crispin Givens this afternoon after his presentation. So I had some relatable when he talked about, he showed a slide on the screen, and he showed a slide of a colony that had a very high sensitivity to hygienic behavior. And when he showed the slide, he goes, "What is this?" And I'm like, "That's hygiene." And he looks out and he's like, "Yep." And I said, "I'm like, I know this because I'm like, I've seen this." And I'm like, I've seen, and like, it was like, probably I would even argue that it might have been hyper hygienic. And there can be a point where you have a trait set that is too much. You know, if a colony can keep mites at bay, but they don't produce a drop of honey, are they any good?
Oh, good are they? Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there has to be a balance in everything, right? So,
Yeah.
you can breed things in and breed things out. Some things are more easily than others, but again, the honeybee is the honeybee. If you train the honeybee part of them collecting nectar or pollinating out of the honeybee, is really kind of redundant. It doesn't matter if they live.
What was the conversation, or what was the main subject about the drones that they talked about?
Well, it was more, I would say, generalization and basic biology about the process of a drone from the start of an egg, whether it's unfertilized or fertilized, right?
Right.
Was it haploid, diploid? And then we went to the maturity level and when bees are actually mature enough to mate. The studies are showing now 12 to 15 days. And he actually said, he goes, our research has shown that really the older they are to a point, he goes, the more mature they are, the better. Let's see, how did he word this? I don't want to put words in his mouth. I can't remember now how he worded it. Basically, when you get up around that 20-day mark, you really have good full maturity of them at that point. You know how we've always kind of talked about racing the time. Oh, I'm going to start grafting now because I have purple-eyed drones. Well, I've seen more recent research that said, you're kind of jumping the gun just a little bit.
Our guru in our area says walking drones.
Yeah.
Well,
Now our climate is a little different than a lot of places, but he says that when you see a drone walking on the comb, you can graft it.
Yeah.
that's kind of
'Cause
what we've
that'll give you
always
that
said around here too.
16 to
You
18
know,
days.
and what caught my attention last year, year before last, it just kind of clicked. Hold on, there could be a difference here between my yard and yours. And the difference is, if I'm looking for walking drones in my yard and I'm not feeding, I may be more on time with what's really out there to breed with my queens. Where if you're feeding in your yard 2 miles away from me, your drones may be ahead of what's out there to breed with your queen. You see what I'm saying? So anytime we talk about drones now, I try to bring that up because you're using your own drones as a guideline, but you have to keep that in the back of your mind. If you're feeding, you may be getting drones earlier than the wild drones out there, unless you're putting out drone yards like a breeder does, you know.
I want to put a myth to rest at this point, talking about my yard, someone else's yard.
Yeah.
People will swear that drones will not mate. The queens will not mate with drones from their own yard. And that is an absolute falsehood. And this comes back to what happens in the apiary. I have no beekeepers near me. So this yard that you see is the only yard of bees within flight distance. And in July, when I'm doing my grafting, in July, my mating success is near 100%. And quality stuff too.
Well, you know, I would say this. So
that's not a thing.
I would say, to your point, Brad, let's think about it like this. Okay, if we're trying to race the clock, and whoever area it is, and you're at that purple-eyed stage where people are like, oh, I can graft now. So this is the argument that I would throw up to somebody. And I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying we're always assuming some sort of risk here, right? In every action that we do, there's some calculated risk in it. So what I would say is, okay, if you're grafting at the purple-eyed stage and you're just seeing some of that brood out there, but maybe the concentration of drones is not almost non-existent, but you don't have multiple colonies producing lots of drone brood at that point. Okay, if you get a queen mated, but like just barely mated, or like just maybe 3 or 4 drones, which would not be much, would you be happy with the long-term outcome of that? And I would even throw on top of that and say, what if that queen was a great layer and her offspring was fine, even say 4 or 5 drones, but she peters out mid-season? Is that a win? For me, I don't see that as a win, because now you're going to do twice the work for the same result. So again, it's just a question I would pose to people. I get it. We all want to race the clock and we all want to think we're smarter than Mother Nature and stuff. I'm as guilty as the next person. So I'm talking to myself here too, but it's like questions I try to pose to myself when I'm doing these, whatever it might be. You know, again, we're assuming some sort of risk involved here. And
I think the same way that you're thinking there. And that's why I don't jump on grafting right away. Mm-hmm. But I do know people, you know, I know some in my area and I know some in other areas, they'll start grafting very, very early. And, you know, again, this guy who's pretty well the guru in my area knows more about bees and queens than I'll ever know. Mm-hmm. He'll start grafting 6 weeks before I would ever try. And I asked him one time, I said, you're grafting in the middle of April? I said, your mating success must really suck. And he says, it does. He says, it's like 20%.
Yeah, that's not a win. 20% is not a win in my book.
But he's selecting for the drones that are available at that time and the queens that will mate at that time. He's selecting for, I call them an Arctic bee. He doesn't call them that, but it's a colder weather bee, mm-hmm. is what he's selecting for. Something that will, you know, raise queens and mate and procreate and stuff in colder weather. Mm-hmm. And he's been doing it for years, and he's got some really fantastic stock. So he just takes that hit, right?
Yeah.
He'll graft 100 and get, you know, 20 takes, and 3 of those mate. You know, mm-hmm. He just takes the hit.
Yeah.
To get that selection. I'm not.
I would say
diligent.
if I'm thinking out loud from my own, what I would consider success failure, I don't think I would even be happy with 50 or 60%. I feel like that. What I would rather do is I would rather wait till the timing is more appropriate and I can get better mating weather, meaning warmer temperatures. Because we all know that drones don't fly when it's cold. They're lazy couch potatoes.
Yeah, they're princesses, as our said one time. They're real princesses that way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, and it really depends on what you're going after, though. If you're really wanting to select that cold weather ability to procreate in cold weather, you're going to have to take that hit. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm doing, right? That's not what I'm doing, and that's not what you're doing, Tom. No. I'm trying to make a whole boatload of queens before my season's over, mm-hmm. right? Is what I'm trying to do.
Bang for buck.
Yeah, get like timing and effort wise. I want a good take. I want to raise a lot of queens in a short period of time. I want them to do well and build up in winter and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, the drones that live through the winter, they probably know there's no queen out there that need to be mated. So why leave a good fireplace in a hive when there's nothing out there? You know, yeah. Stay home.
And, you know, Brian, good point. You know, that's always, that's a constant principle, but even more stark in the early season in the cold weather is that if there's a colony producing drones, that's an exceptional colony. Is that because of exceptional genetics? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's just the roll of the dice, but maybe it is.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a result of really crappy genetics, so they're at least average, right?
Yeah.
So that's I think one of the most genius parts of nature in this whole thing, that weak colonies do not raise drones.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no
That,
passing off of that genetic from the drone
yeah.
side.
See that little,
Survival of the
I don't
fittest.
know if y'all saw it, but that little short that I posted a few days ago, drones flying, coming in. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but that was the same hive for the last 3 weeks. I've been seeing them pull drone brood out,
Hmm.
but they still got drones in the hive. They just pulling some of them out. They're not
They're
kicking them
pulling
all
the
out.
brood out.
Yeah, they're just pulling drone brood out.
Interesting.
Thinning the herd down, I guess.
Yeah, they just kind of thinning it down a little bit. They keeping control of it.
I don't remember that one, Joey, but I just watched you screwing a panel to the bottom of a long hive, and there was a great big old spider hanging right there, and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Something else Crispin talked about that I've heard this before, but I didn't realize the length of time. So, okay, let's suppose you go into a colony that had queen cells in there, supersedures, swarms, whatever, and you pull up the frame, you're looking at it, and next thing you know, you have all the bottoms of these cells are chewed out, or partially chewed, or cracked open, and you see the proboscis of the queen coming out. But maybe you see multiple ones happen. You're like, oh, I caught them on the right day. He said most likely not, because what'll happen, and I knew part of this, but I just didn't know the length of time. He said what'll happen is sometimes they'll let one queen emerge out of one of these, say, swarm cells, and she'll go running around doing her thing. They will hold the other queens in there. And he actually, I only thought it was potentially up to maybe a couple days. He actually, and I don't know if this is part of his research or not, but he was very confident when he said it. He said they can hold virgin queens in a cell, he goes, for up to 2 weeks.
What? That's crazy.
I've never heard that before. Like I said, I mean, he was confident when he said it. And I mean, that's kind of what that's part of their research that they do. I didn't realize that. He said basically when she's chewing it out, they will feed her through that, so that she's, and even potentially multiple ones, feed them through that. He goes, but sometimes they won't let them out. So
is there a why?
He didn't say, and I should have asked the question, honestly. He didn't say.
Are they hedging their bets on this one queen that they've got running around, or?
I mean, that's my assumption. But
if they can hold those for 2 weeks, one would think that they could let that first virgin emerge and then give her time to mate and come back and prove herself. And if she doesn't, they've got to get a backup.
Yeah. Well, you know what I might do now that I'm saying it out loud and verbalizing it, it really has my curiosity peaked. So I'm gonna have to send him an email now.
Here's a good question right here.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I was clicking on.
Well, I did. I've heard Corey Stevens say that a few times.
Yeah.
Jerome.
This one right here. It jumped when I was trying to click on it.
I guess
I'd be a bad one to ask for that, because my season is so short that a young queen will generally not have time to build in a hive. I can't say I've noticed anything like that.
So if I'm thinking about this out loud, I would say that a younger queen is definitely more likely to lay and produce more offspring, right? I mean,
they generally lay harder than older queen. Yeah.
So, okay. So if you just said a minute ago, Brad, and I agree with you, a weak colony will not produce drones. I mean, I think this is a thing God put in this whole mechanism. It's
totally part of it.
You don't let, well, I'm not going to
procreation of the fittest.
Correct. You don't let the dumbest of each species continue to procreate. My
mama drowned a stupid one.
So I don't want to get off on that tangent, though. I could go for a while on that. But in honeybees specific, they won't let the weakest populate. So, it's kind of the hardwired fact into them. So weak colonies will not produce drones. Only strong ones will. So, I mean, okay, to that point, you could probably say that the younger ones would produce more drones because they're going to be more vibrant and lay more and produce more offspring. Would that be a fair assessment?
Well, what's the metric that you're going to decide which colony is strong and which one isn't? I don't think it's necessarily a perfect metric, because sometimes a colony might seem strong, but or not seem strong, uh, but their problem isn't genetic. Their problem has nothing to do with, they're not diseased. They don't have poor genetics or anything like that. They just have something else wrong. They picked the wrong hole in the wrong tree, and they don't have a good home, so therefore they can't, or something like that. So I don't think it's a very clean metric as far as who gets to procreate and who doesn't. It's just a game of averages, right?
Well, maybe as a generalized statement then.
Like there could be of the strong colonies, there could be 10% of them just have bad luck and they don't end up. Of the weak colonies, 100% of them don't work out, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, pollination, right? You think about wind pollination. How many grains of pollen actually end up pollinating another plant, right? 1 in 10 bazillion,
Yeah.
right? You've seen the pine pollen, right? How much of that
Oh, gosh.
actually turns into
Yeah.
pollinating something?
Yeah.
Almost none.
I mean,
I put this back up here for a reason. Brent said, I heard Corey say that he accidentally discovered his virgins could last a few weeks. I've told Corey more than one time. Every time I see him, I tell him this just about it. He's probably getting tired of me saying it. But until he came along, I was doing things by a few other people that was telling me that I could do. One of them was Mr. Pat McCaffrey. We used to put virgins in the front door, throw virgins in the hives, and just all kind of ways. People was telling me you can't do that.
Yeah.
You got to put a cell in there. You can't put a virgin in there. And when Corey Stevens came along, he changed all of that.
Exactly.
It's
I was
amazing
doing
how
that.
one man can accidentally do things like this and then get the
And I
proof.
kind of accidentally did too, because I was doing it 2 or 3 years before I ever heard of Corey.
But
But
I used to use.
introducing virgins to
Yep.
queenless mating nukes.
I've had them stay in my incubator in here for almost a week before I had a hive to put them in, and still do good. But people were saying you can't do that. I'm saying, why can't I do that?
Again,
I tell Corey every time I see
there could
him.
maybe
I'm glad
be
you
some
came along.
academia say you can't do that, and so
Yeah,
I'm glad you didn't tell me that 5 years ago, because it's been working great.
yeah.
Right? Somebody tell me you can't mark virgins because, one reason or the other.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know that. I've been doing it for years and it works great. I didn't know. And I do think it's a shame that when we get told we can't do it, then we don't try, right? If we
That's
don't
right.
get told that we can't do it, it's kind of like, I don't know if you watch my channel. Back in early in the summer, I had some people come over here and we did some grafting, and one of them was Lexi. She came over here, did some grafting, and she had a few take. It was her very first time. She doesn't even have bees, and then she had like 4 or 5 queens mate in the apiary here. Like, she was so proud, and I said, you should be proud. And I said, the reason that you can do this? She said, what? It's because somebody didn't tell you you can't.
That's right.
Right? Because if you started beekeeping with one colony, somebody's going to come up to you and say, well, you can't raise queens. And then you would believe that.
That's right.
That's a tragedy, because now she doesn't even have bees yet, and she loves raising queens. She thinks
awesome.
it's the coolest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like nobody's told her she can't, pick up the larva and put it in the cup and that sort of thing because she's done it. She just didn't know any better
Yeah.
to think that she couldn't do it.
Well, I've had people said to me on multiple occasions that might be a newer beekeeper say, I'm going to ask you something. You might think it's dumb. I'm like, you know what? Just fire away. I'm like, it really doesn't matter
Try
what
me.
I think. You know what I mean? It really doesn't matter what I think. Trust me. And I mean, Melissa doesn't care,
Some of
And
the
she
dumbest
agrees with me
questions
as well.
I've ever heard come out of my mouth.
Yeah, right. And they'll say something, and I'm like, honestly, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not going to make something up. I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you what, though. I'm like, I mean, dumb or not, I'm like, try it and tell me how it works.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not here to discourage you on doing something because this person, whether they're a new beekeeper and I feel like I'm some experienced person or something. Again, we all started off at zero, didn't we? I mean, we all started off at zero knowledge. So they could be the next Cameron Jack or whomever your hero is in beekeeping, right? So, I don't think it doesn't behoove us to squash anybody's ideas about things, whether we may think they're dumb or not. I mean, there are certain practices that hold pretty true, but like you just said, Brad, she did this because if had somebody come in and said, hey, you can't do that, maybe she's the type of person or personality that would not have tried. Now there are certain people out there, they're like, hey, you can't do that. And be like, watch me,
Challenge accepted.
Exactly.
Yeah. But a lot of times, somebody like her will be interested in beekeeping, join a bee club, right? Go to a few meetings, talk to other beekeepers, and then she starts to get fed certain narratives. And one of those narratives is that you have to buy your queens from this person in the club or that store, that bee supply store or something. That's where queens come from. So there must be some magic to queens now because I'm supposed to buy them but now it's totally blown that all out of the water. And if somebody told her, you should, you better buy your queen from the store, she'd just say, screw that, I'm going to raise my own queen. And she's like, she's a first year beekeeper or something. And they'll probably look at her sideways. It's like, well, you're a little bold, aren't you? Well, I've already done it. Right. I've been grafting since before I had bees. Sort of thing. It's just the narrative.
Yeah.
That
hey,
we
Paul,
get fed.
Some people are slower at 2 to 3 years. I knew everything at the first year. Okay. So I don't know what it's taken everybody 2 to 3 years to know everything.
Yeah. I knew nothing my first year.
You were dangerous your first year, right?
I knew nothing. My wife was my mentor. She had she wasn't experienced with bees, but she had been studying beekeeping for a few months, reading and everything. And so I just, okay, what do I do next? And she would say, well, do this. And I learned fast.
I've seen a lot of people within, talking about people being told what they can do, can't do, and squashing those ideas and such. I can't tell you how many times, though, we've been in a club meeting, and people may have already heard me tell this story before, but I don't know. Just certain things will stick in my head. And we had a great presenter at one of the club meetings talking about, again, Varroa, right? The ominous Varroa, the subject that never ends as far as, beating that same dead horse. But anyway, presenting on the idea of, Varroa, some basic biology, about them and weak points and things of that nature. And they talk about the treatment options that we have, talking about the pros and cons of them. And then, I'll sit in the back and some of these talks I've already heard, because most of the time when I bring somebody in, I've already heard the presentation. I don't usually bring somebody in blind. So we're sitting back and, listening, to it. And he said something that kind of made me kind of put my head up and look. And he goes, okay. He goes, now, I've given you guys all the tools that you need to have a basic understanding of this pest that we have. And I've given you these different treatment options that are available in the market and some of the thresholds in which you can use these on there. And then he says, but for all those that you want to be told what to do, this is what I do. And I poked my head up like this and I looked because I wanted to see what the audience was doing. And I'm telling you what, Brad, without fail, so he goes to the next slide, and I see people that were taking notes. Pen goes to paper, phones come up to take pictures of the slideshow, and I'm like, he just gave you all the tools to make an educated decision on your own based upon how you would like to potentially do things, and you just want to be told what to do. So, and it wasn't just one or two, Brad. I'm talking like probably 50, maybe 60% of this audience did that. And I'm like, you don't have to listen to him, because and then I kind of poke around fun with him a little bit. He's been a researcher for a long time, and actually has studied honeybees since like 2012. And he's the guy that he's a molecular biologist, and he's one of the guys behind the research for the Naroa product. I've talked about him before. Really smart guy, just a problem solver, good critical thinking skills and stuff. And there's times before him and I have been talking. And again, I'm 8-year beekeeper, and now we run about the same number of hives and stuff, but he's been in research a lot longer than me, holds more paper degrees than I do. Right. And I'm like, I don't agree with that. And I'm like, whatever the point might have been. And I'm like, quit. And then even with some of the people, when I'm joking around with them, I'm like, well, he does this. And I'm like, but actually he's wrong. This is the way I do it. You know what I mean? And they all know that I'm being, facetious and being jokingly and what have you. But, it's just, I don't know. Some people just want to be told what to do, Brad.
I want to tackle Mark's question.
I just wonder how many times Mark's been asked this question.
Yeah, I want to tackle it, and I think I know where he's going, but I'll tackle it in a different direction. Quite often, when new beekeepers will talk to me and ask me things about swarming, swarm cells, and stuff like that, I can tell that they believe that the presence of a swarm cell is the instigation to swarm. Right, and that's why they say, "Oh, they were going to swarm, so I killed all the swarm cells," and not, and they think, and I say, "Well, you didn't stop the swarm impulse, right? The presence of the swarm cell is a symptom, not a cause, right? The colony decides to swarm long before there's a presence of a swarm cell. So all you did was you removed every chance of that colony has to raise a new queen."
What he's asking about is hive number 2.
Right. And
because it was a swarm cell, or is hive number 2.
So, I mean, if hive number 2 wants to swarm, and there is a timing thing there. There's a timing thing if the colony wants to swarm and they've raised a swarm cell. When the cell emerges and when the colony actually swarms and leaves the hive, timing-wise, those things are related. But I don't believe the presence of that swarm cell causes that colony to decide that they should swarm. If colony 2 swarms, they want it to swarm anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to cause it. Yeah. So, did I answer right, Mark?
So, Brad, I want to elaborate on that. And this is just my thought. That doesn't mean that I'm right or wrong. But so the queen has multiple pheromone. Oh my gosh, what I'm looking for. Glands. Thank you. I mean, she has mandibular, right?
Yes.
And that's for feeding, transferring, and multiple bees feed and move that around. Yeah. The tarsal glands on her feet.
Yeah.
Her Dufour glands, which are near her egg layer. Let's see, what's the other one that's back there? There's another one that's on her back side, besides the Dufour gland. There's another one. So anyway, part of the idea of swarming is that the queen pheromone, you have a large population of bees. Let's say you have a lot of incoming nectar, and you have a lot of nurse bees and you have a lot of forager bees crossing paths, right? You are muting the queen presence or pheromones because she's not able to walk in all these areas that she walked before, helping to spread that complete profile. Not just one gland is what produces the queen presence. It's multiple glands together that create that entire profile. So by her not moving around those combs, I would think or by her still being able to move around those combs in the hive too, per se, maybe that wasn't ready to swarm. They don't have that sense of overcrowding, and she still has a good pheromone profile about her that's been moved around the colony. My thought would be just like what you said, that the probability, I wouldn't say yes or no, but the probability would be high that it would not swarm with that one swarm cell unless it was already triggered in some form or fashion to do so. So that's my thought, because again, the transfer of the queen pheromone is still present in the hive number 2, unless it was overcrowded.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just stepped through the mechanics of kind of what I was saying, that the hive, the colony gets to a point where I don't know if it's just a moment or a day or a progression over a few days, they get to a point where they've decided, okay, we're going to go down this path. They've started the train going down the tracks. And can you stop that train? Yeah, you can. But the faster that train is going, the longer it goes, the faster it goes, and the harder it is to stop.
Yeah,
If it's better to stop the train from going down the track before it starts rolling, right?
absolutely.
We all know that. You want to split your hives and stuff like that. But that's the art of preventing swarms. So once they kind of decide that, then things like, producing swarm cells, that's a symptom of what they've decided. They decide to do this, and then they start the process of doing it. You see the swarm cells. Can you stop it? Yeah, you can. Probably. And I think there's a big probably. You got to split it up heavily, reduce all of that congestion sort of thing. You can take all of those swarm cells and make splits and let them mate, all that sort of stuff. But it's far easier to prevent that than it is to stop it. And you can't take away one thing, and it's not, you're not going to stop it.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, I don't understand what you're saying. You say I call releases, like meaning they let that queen emerge. I don't understand what you're saying.
It's replying to Tom.
I'm just not following exactly.
Anyway, we'll wait for the chat to keep up. There's a little delay.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just kind of the way I kind of, and somebody said to me, oh, it was many decades ago now, said education is a continuingly declining spiral of deception, right? To begin to learn about a topic, the teacher needs to lie to you to start with. You need to make, and I think beekeeping is probably the best example of this that I've ever experienced, because in beekeeping the only absolute in beekeeping is there's no absolutes.
That's right.
That's
I agree with
only
that.
absolute
Yeah.
beekeeping. Every time, when somebody asks me, a new beekeeper, they come and ask me about a beekeeping scenario. So if this, and this, then what? And the answer will always start, well, it depends. And usually, right?
100% it will.
But they don't want to hear that, right?
Yeah.
So when you teach them, you have to say, okay, there's only one queen in the hive. Wink, wink.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And when the queen dies, they make a new one. Wink, wink. Because
That's right.
usually, right? And that queen goes off to mate. Usually.
Yep.
Brad, it's because they're not ready for the truth.
You can't
handle the truth.
Brad, I've always told everybody the only absolute in beekeeping is bees always live in a cavity unless they don't.
That's right.
I like it, Joey.
But it's like raising kids, right? You can't tell them the grown-up version of the situation. You got to tell them the age-appropriate version of the situation, and then gradually add in,
when I see somebody come to me and want to learn all about beekeeping, I will tell them right off, if you want to learn this, you need to spend your life educating yourself on this because I don't have enough life left to teach this to you. First of all, I don't know that much.
Yeah.
and I'm not going to live that long to teach
That's
you
right.
everything so you need to educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually had a family come to me. There was 2 brothers and a father came to me, and they were serious about, they want to learn, and they've been pretty successful. But early on, I told them that. I said, you need to do that. You need to take charge of your education. I'm here for you, but you need to take charge of your education on this. And secondly, you need to appoint one of the 3 of you is the responsible one, right? Because you can't have 3 cooks in the kitchen when it comes to your beehives. You have to have one person that is, not necessarily the person who gets to make all the decisions, but it's the person who's responsible for the failures.
That's
right?
Tom.
No, that's her.
Exactly.
If it goes
See,
wrong,
this is
Melissa's
case in
fault.
point here. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, Brad, I can't tell you how many times that Melissa, and I've said this before, I think most people know us. Melissa and I have been married for 25 years. I love that woman to death. I will do anything for her. But I told her early
26
on,
years.
26 years. That's what I just said, right? Yeah. That's what I just said, right, Brad?
Let me back up the YouTube and I'll check.
I love that woman to death, would do anything for her, right? But there are times that I will die on the hill that I'm standing on.
But
right?
I won't do that.
That's right. The old Meatloaf song. You got it. We've been in BRs before where I have this idea in my head of the way I'm going to do things. And she's like, no, we're not going to do it. I'm like, this is the way I'm going to do it. And you're not changing my mind. I have already hyper focused on whatever it was. I've already planned this out well before I ever got to the yard, Brad. And I am literally hyper focused on this plan that I've already planned out. And she's like, we're not. I'm like, you go down there to that end of the colonies down there and do whatever the hell you want, because I'm going to continue to do what it is that I'm doing right now, So
yeah, Matt kind of touched on a couple of, fairly absolute things about bees. Bees die.
Yeah.
And bees will make honey.
That's right.
Like, you try to stop the bees from making honey.
Mm-hmm.
If there's honey out to, they're like, they're hoarders is what they are. If it's there, it's coming home.
That's right.
They're kind of like me when I got my first pickup truck. It's like, whew, stuff that I can drag home now.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right.
So that's, that spiral of deception. That's and that's where you just have to, every time you're involved with somebody who's trying to learn, you don't want to overwhelm them with the unless this and unless that and something else and all the the long answer, but you also want to be helpful to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to know where to start in that spiral sometimes.
Yeah, I would say that's
too.
Yeah, like Melissa just said, where do you stop? You have to do a condensed version. I have a tendency to pay very close attention to the details, and I'm not going to tell Melissa this, but yes, sometimes I will over-explain things because that's the way my brain operates. Okay.
Well, my Sheldon Cooper comes out, and and again, I'll cite Lexi's experience here this summer. She'd come here and she'd learn, and I'd teach her, and she'd ask me these questions, and I'd explain, this and that and whatnot, and then as we start just conversation as we're working, I said to her one day, well, if you want to understand me, Sheldon Cooper, that's me. And she says, yeah, I get that. Right? Because I have a hard time. I don't know. Sometimes people ask me a question, and it's not just about bees, like anything.
Mm.
Sometimes somebody will ask me a question, and I'll just go, because usually they've asked me a question that's not the question they want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And I just deer in the headlights. It's sort of, I don't know how to answer that, because if I answer the question, they're going to be mad at me. But do I answer a different question?
Yeah.
Right. So that's just kind of how I
just deflect. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right answer is there.
So anyway, that's getting a little off topic, but it's hard. It's hard,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the difficult way to. That's why, maybe everybody's not. People are really good at understanding the information, maybe applying it, but not everybody can teach it. And I would argue there's a lot of things that I'm just not good at, but I try to do my very best to, like try not to overshare something when the information is not at the appropriate time. Maybe, hit them with the basics. But like you said, hey, I want to get bees this year. I want to learn. I'm like, well, that's a process right now because I'm
Meet
telling
them where they are. Like look at who are you talking to, and have they had bees for a month, or have they not got bees at all? Are they 2 years in or 5 years? If they're 2 years in, they've experienced not having enough drawn comb. They've experienced having a swarm. If
Mhm.
if they're 3 months in, no, they don't. Don't go into swarming and
Yeah.
it's not where they're at.
Yeah,
You need to meet them where they are. And
definitely.
sometimes it's hard to understand where they are because I've known 5-year beekeepers who are like 3-month beekeepers in other cases. Like they just have
Yeah,
not learned anything in 5 years.
that's right.
And for various reasons. I'm not saying, they're lacking intelligence, but for different
Mhm.
reasons.
Yeah.
So you can't make those assumptions. You can't just say how many colonies you got, how long you've kept bees, and then start, here, because
Yeah.
every person is different.
That you're absolutely right. So when we made up this class at the EMBA as an intermediate, she's like, so when we were trying to put the verbiage down or publish this stuff, she's like, well, what are you thinking? Like second and third year? And the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't really want to put a number on it. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you why, because just what you said right there, because sometimes a 5th-year beekeeper might be more like what we think is a first going into 2nd-year beekeeper. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not throwing rocks here, okay?
A 5th-year
That's not
beekeeper
my
who
intention.
still needs a workshop on how to split bees,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
But sometimes that's what happens. So you can't
Yeah.
then say, oh, you're a 5th-year beekeeper? Well, you're an advanced queen breeder who selects for these traits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I want to know how to split a colony.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Can't make those
Well,
assumptions.
and
What about the 5th-year beekeeper that hasn't had a colony live through the winter?
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't know how to handle an overwintered colony, which is something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
They'll
and
kick your
here's another point. So we had people ask us, and this is the reason we created this intermediate level, if you will. They said we took the first year beekeeping or the beginner beekeeping class that you guys put on through the EMBA, not us, but through the EMBA. And they said it's very basic. And they said, but the experience side was like very experienced. And I thought, I sat back and I'm like, because sometimes you don't think about these things, right? It's from their perspective. And I'm like, okay, well, our point here is to educate people, not to educate me. It's for the group that comes, that's what this is for. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, and I even at the thing, I told them, I said, hey, we need to try to meet these people where they're at. And I'm like, that's when we try to create this intermediate. Cause I'm like, I don't want to dumb down the experience side. And I'm not trying to sound important here. I'm not wanting to dumb the information down, because we want to keep moving forward with these experienced people. But then like you said, we want to meet the other people where they're at. So we basically said, hey, it's going to be like 2nd year and beyond. Okay. And this is what we're going to be talking about. That way people can understand, okay, this is the topics that we're going to be going over. This is how we're going to be. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I want to go ahead and do this, like for Charlie here, he's coming and he's going to take
beginners, I think.
He's going to take the intermediate and the experience. So there's a lot of stuff. Charlie's going to be like, the intermediate, I get it. But I will also now argue, Charlie, and say you're going to probably walk away with a cool little few nuggets or tips and tricks. So, that may be something that you'll gain from it. But you've got a lot of experience here. And again, you might say intermediate's like, you might be like this. I kind of know this and that. But you, again, might still walk away with a couple nuggets here on that. So,
that's the biggest complaint I have with the local bee clubs is that they cater to one group of people, and that's the beginner beekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your club never gets
like,
beyond
right,
how to install a package,
Yeah. What I'm getting at is even my club that I was president of. All right, we had it was located at the local college, community college. You had Beekeeper 101. And I'm like, what? Where is the intermediate class and the advanced class that beekeepers should be able to take? Why aren't these clubs, doing that?
So I have to
And
make
huh?
I have to make a comment. This one club that we visited, the Ozark Club, wasn't the Ozark
In
Club?
Springfield?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They have a really good setup.
Oh, yeah.
Like their initial meeting when you get there, it's the whole group is the meeting. If they have a guest speaker, the guest speaker speaks. Da da da. After that, they actually break off into different sections. The beginners will go over here, the experience, and I think they're starting another like intermediate
I think
section.
so.
This
Yeah, I belong to that.
they do a really good job of like meeting everybody where their needs are.
Yeah.
So
I talk about the other chat that I am before I come to mine, which is the Chester chat. And if you're at one of their live meetings, they used to, like you say, you had have beginners group and intermediate or advanced or whatever they were going to have. But I find so many people that are, some of them are 5-year beekeepers. Some of them, I know one lady is a 10-year beekeeper, and she's a 2-year beekeeper for the last 10 years. And I don't know what it is. They just don't advance. They just don't. Now, like Friday night, we had, what was it? I think his name is Dave from Southern Maryland. He's a first-year beekeeper. He's already started grafting queens. He went from 4 packages to 9 highs, or actually 10. He's got one of them just about, it's whether or not, he's calling it whether or not it's going to get through the winter because it's light. And I'm like, what did you do? He said, oh, I researched and studied and just kept on, pulling this knowledge in wherever he could suck it in. And I'm like, if that's the problem we have with these beekeepers is they don't want to get to that point, or there's no drive for that.
Yeah, most of the time you have to travel 2 or 3 hours away just to try to learn how to graft, to learn how to do this, instead of
All right, for me. All right, back in 2018 or 2019, I traveled 10 to 12 hours down to Knoxville, and I'll say 10 hours. Kenton Williams was there. It was before Hive Life. It was called the Honey Show. And he was putting on 2 grafting classes where they actually brought in brood out of a hive, and you sat there and there was 2 lines and we could sit there and graft and all. And it was wonderful. And that's where I learned how to graft and stuff. And I came back home. I mean, some of the guys, they were retirees. They're going to do all this in the middle of the day. I said, what about me that wants to learn, but can't we do it in the afternoon at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening, But you couldn't get them to teach.
Just to answer Norman McBilly's question there, that's kind of what you want to work with. I like, as far as nuke boxes, I like working with 5-frame nuke boxes. My wooden ones, a lot of times, if I'm just making small nukes, if I find a swarm cell and I want to split, I'll put 3 frames of bees or brood mixed with food in a 5-frame box with a frame feeder. And that gives me room for that. A lot of times I use a 10-frame box for a nuke sitting on top of a double screen board. So it's just kind of what you want to do. For
that's how I would kind of respond to that. It's just, again, another one of these things. You ask the question, it depends. What does it depend on? Well, it depends on you. What are you trying to accomplish? Why are you running a nuke? Like, you have to answer that. Well, why do you want to have a nuke? What is it? Do you want to make a nuke with a swarm cell and let the queen mate? Yeah, 2 frames is enough for that.
Yeah.
Do you want a nuke that you want to build for winter? Well, you better get 5 or 6 frames if you want to do that. Do you want to bank a queen so that you have a spare over the summer in case you need a queen to requeen something? It really depends.
Mm-hmm.
As far as nuke boxes, I know a few people that like to use 3-frame nuke boxes. That way you're putting a smaller amount of bees in a tight box where they can keep it warm. That works too, but I'm satisfied with the 5-framers when I need them.
I often thought about, all right, I made some 2-frame mating boxes that take full-size frames. And then I said, well, maybe I should have done 3 frames. But then you sit there and think about it. Okay, 3 frames, 2 more frames is 5 frames. So don't have so much equipment. Have, let's a standardized 5-frame nuke box, have a follower board or something in there, or fill it with something.
Yeah.
That's what I was just
And you've got
saying.
options of whether you want to let it grow into a 5-frame or do you want to keep it in a smaller frame. You got a box that can do most anything for you.
Yeah, follower boards are magic.
Yeah.
I got the Way Farm channel guy here. So what's the difference between a beekeeper and bee farmers? I think
in the U.S. we mostly just call them beekeepers. We don't really say bee farmers. But if I was going to differentiate, I would say a bee farmer would be a commercial operation. Where,
I call it my thing, Solomon Charlie's Bee Farm, because we have a farm, and I consider myself more of a sideliner than anything else, and it's just something that I came up with. It's just instead of Thomas Apiaries, I just said Bee Farm. And
I get asked all the time. I call mine Raw's Apiaries. I get asked by people in
what's an apiary?
The community I'm in. What is an apiary? How do you say that word?
And then they say aviary. They call it an aviary. It's like, no, it's bees, not birds.
It is. It's kind of hard to say.
Wrong animal.
Yeah.
But, and then the Sawmill Charlie thing. I mean, yes, I have a sawmill. That's what we do for a living. But the way I got that is I would go to these VFW dances with the bluegrass music, and there was this guy that he would say, "Hey, Sawmill Charlie, what's happening?" And after a while, I had started beekeeping. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty catchy. I like that, and that's how I come up with the idea of using that name.
It was going to be Popcorn Charlie, but Sawmill Charlie.
Yep. Brian has the answer.
Brian, I have one question though. What if you don't have on that like tractor? What if you just have a skid steer? Does that qualify?
I've got 2 tractors.
You're a farmer. 2 times over. 1 time over.
I tell you what, the farmers these days, especially in the dairy business, I got a dairy just about 5 miles down the road from me. And he has got a tractor
how you want it to.
in his yard.
He does what, Joey?
Yeah.
He has a tractor for every implement in his yard.
We'll give you a do-over on that one, Norman.
I get that. I get that. My son's we bought that bale, or my son bought the bale bearing and the baler. And the way they connect this new baler is it used to be you just dropped a pin in and put a hairpin underneath.
Yeah.
Now they've got a bolt in there, and it's got this, eyelet that wiggles like a 3-point hitch eyelet, Tom. And it's a pain on doing that thing. And he wants to get another tractor where you leave the tractor hooked to that thing like a train, and then it can go and hook up to the cutting machine, which when you hook up to the new cutting bar machine, you got to have an attachment that you stick on the drawbar, and you have to bolt it all down so it clamps in there like that.
Well, if you're not sure if it's a beekeeper or bee farmer, and you don't know if the person is a farmer or not, just remember the definition of a farmer. A farmer is a man outstanding in his field.
Yep. Exactly right.
Pump. I need my laugh track here. Is this thing on?
You can
Is this thing on?
You need a little button you hit, Brad, with the audience laughing. That's what you need, right?
Applause or laughter sign
right.
over my head or something.
Somebody stand in the background. Applause.
Yeah.
Lead balloon.
So, Carl, actually, they're not. What I have is not actually lawn tractors. They're actually mowers. I mean, they're only good at the machines I have. They're only good at one thing: making tall grass short. That's really the only thing they're good at.
Now, talking about that, have you ever tried one of them Ferris mowers?
Yeah. So
I got one.
we have 3 of those.
You
I've
like
got-
the independent suspension on them and all that?
So Joey, do you have a sit down machine, a 0-turn rider?
Yeah.
Okay, so Joey might have one of those. I don't have a sit down machine.
You got
It
the
don't
one
have the
sitting
mine doesn't have the independent suspension though.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we have 4 mowers. We have an X Mark mower, which is a sit down machine that has a big bagger system, collection system. We use it for leaf removal and such. I don't use it in the daily operation, but then we have 3 mowers. 2 of them are walk behinds with the platform you ride on called a sulky.
Mhm.
That you can put them out of the way. And
It's almost
those
like
are
a Bravely.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the
And
Bravely
you
used to have a seat with a sulky, and you got the one with a little wheel that runs
Yeah,
around.
so we don't sit. I'm telling you,
A
production
lot
is
better
not-
on your back, isn't it?
What's that?
A lot better on your back, isn't it?
Absolutely. When I first bought the X Mark that we have now, it didn't come with the cushy, comfy seat that was on it. I mean, it kind of was after I used it because it's very, very rigid and stiff mower. It's very well built. When I got off of that first day, the next day my back was sore because it just bounced around and stuff. I went out and purchased a $900 seat with some of the best money I ever spent.
Yeah.
It has like a trucker seat where you can adjust the suspension on it, and it rides on ball bearings up and down, basically. And I mean, you only get one back, so $900 is well worth it. But we then quickly, when that machine started getting a little bit older, we moved to. I mean, we've already had walk behinds, which are convenient because they're maneuverable. They don't take up much space on the trailer, and you can put them on an incline or a hillside. That's absolutely ridiculous. So they're very versatile, and they're a little bit cheaper. Then we went with the stand-up model, which is the Z3X, is a stander, and it does have suspension that as it maneuvers, the deck goes up and down with the contour of the ground. But again, looking at speed, it's comfortable because I like the standing position. You can literally let go of the controls, step off, and move something out of a yard, whether it's trash, debris, anything that you need to, and get right back on the machine. So I'm looking for speed and accuracy. So that's why we use those. But I don't think they're the best machines out there. There's a few things that I liked particularly about them, is why we went and swapped over to all those machines. But I mean, they're one of the better ones, I would say. But so.
Is it time for another joke?
I think so. What do you got?
Well, I was reading the Way Farm Channel's question he's got there.
Where's he? Where's he located?
Africa.
Okay.
Somewhere in Africa. I don't remember where. I can't.
Totally different beekeeping there than here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
That's one thing that I've always had to learn about Africa, is that Africa is the continent, and then there's all these little states. Not states, countries.
Yeah,
Actually, countries.
yeah.
Countries,
Mhm. I believe he was up in North Africa, if I remember right. I don't remember what he had said before. I'm sure you can comment in here. But I believe when I looked him up before, he was in the northern part of the continent.
I think it would be awfully hard to tell him what to do because I guess it's always warm there.
No, when we talked to him last time on here, it was actually cold where he was.
Yeah, he had some mountains in the background or some higher elevations, I thought.
Yeah.
But I thought he was in the northern part. I can't remember now where he
Next
said.
session about bee multiplication. Queen ring. There is a high bee population decrease.
Yeah, I would wonder if you would see the same struggles that we do as far as illness from varroa and such. What else you got? What other topic you got?
I got a question. Anybody, I mean, we talk about mites all the time, and then we also say, they put the viruses into the hives. And I watched that one video that Bob Benny put out with the PhD about microbials versus fighting, helping the bees fight the viruses. Anybody else find anything else out there that they are the science based or anything that has helpful for the bees when it comes to that?
Between microbials and beating
Well,
viruses?
they were in that one video that this PhD guy, he was down out of University of Georgia, I think it was, and he was talking about the bee gut and talking about the probiotics and stuff, which in turn help the gut lining. I'll say the mucus in the gut actually helps that bee to defend itself against viruses and stuff, so, especially like K wing and black shiny black bee virus and stuff like that. And I don't know whether science is just starting to scratch the surface on that or what.
It's not that, but we have a young researcher here at University of Manitoba who's working on vaccines actually to help the bees deal with viruses. She's working on
Mhm.
deformed wing virus to start with, of course. That's one of the big ones. So some pretty promising research that she's doing. And when she presented, I asked her if the methods that she's using will be, I called modular, so that she can slot in different viruses once she perfects what she's doing. And she said absolutely. So then she can work down the list and possibly uh, create vaccines for Israeli acute paralysis and all this sinai and whatnot in the future. But this is not vaccines for queens that we have seen from Dalen. This is vaccines for the colony,
Yeah. I
for the
mean,
bees themselves.
you know, the main thing is, I mean, we can keep our mite population down, which will keep the virus load down and all that, or at least it helps us from what we were being told. I was just wondering whether or not, um, if anybody else had heard anything else out there.
I wish I had.
It's Melanie's on. Hi, Melanie and Dennis.
I'm oblivious to what she's referring to.
I'm not sure either.
I don't know a bill from PA
There
unless
was
we
a
passed.
bill passed in Pennsylvania. They're instead of calling bees livestock now, they're wanting to call them crop.
Oh yeah,
Something like that.
It's a bill. They
It
kind
still
of went
hadn't
over.
went through their state senate yet. It's just House bill.
Well, it's wrapped the honeybees and the pollinators and the plants kind of all in one over one umbrella. I'll say that within their government. Now, Pennsylvania's they're pretty stringent on the bees even now, where if you want to sell to the public, you got to have a commercial kitchen. Carl could tell you more about it than anything else. And then let's see what else. They got this new bill where they can come into your apiary and inspect, and then you're also supposed to pay them by either by the individual hives or so many hives per apiary, and it gives them a lot more muscle. I'm not saying it's good for I don't know, more. We're here to help you, the government. You know how that works out.
That's scary.
That's what it amounts to. And there's been a lot of lot of the beekeepers are not real happy. I'll put it to you that way.
That's always happened with any government, or it's state or U.S. or whatever, any other country. It starts off as maybe a good idea, and it keeps turning into something else, and it just gets worse and worse.
Well, it's like here in my county, I asked an old carpenter guy. He said he was there when they first came out with the idea of a building permit. Well, it's only $15, 50 some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's turned into thousands and thousands of dollars.
Give them an inch, take a mile.
We can make all this money so we can give everybody a government job. That kind of problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy, when I put electrical service in here, the guy that come put the sticker on there that approved my electrical circuit or my electrical panel doesn't have 1 year of electrical knowledge. He has never done any kind of electrical. He was taught how to look in that panel and look for certain things and put a sticker on that panel and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Where I've got 30 years of electrical experience, we're going to have this 6-month guy that's trained to look at a panel and make sure this size wire is going in this 20 amp circuit and put a little sticker on there where the next guy can come out and do his job. It just blows my mind. I said, if y'all gonna get inspectors for electricians, if you're gonna get inspectors, I know I'm getting off subject, for plumbing, if you're gonna get inspectors for panels, HVAC, get somebody that knows what they're looking at.
Well, usually the inspectors are the ones that couldn't make it as a plumber.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
And Mark Miller wants to know, is honey from a sick hive as good as honey from a healthy hive? I'd say so. It's just not going to have
honey don't go bad.
That's right. A sick hive just ain't going to have as much as a good hive or a healthy hive. So what's up? How's it happening, Big Mike? Are you got any snow up there yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Last year, my best honey hive was a deado. That's how bad the honey was here last year.
Huh.
Hey, Charlie, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Tagging along with what Mark Miller said, is honey from a sick hive as good as honey from a healthy hive? What is your thought? Do you think that if you have a hive that's sick, kind of like you and I, we don't produce as well, things might be off, certain areas of our body might not do like they should for a period of time, whatever, right? Do you think that those bees, when they're taking in that nectar and converting it to honey, they have to add invertase in there? Do you think that would be equal to a healthy hive? Do you think they can add the right or the same amount of enzymes to that nectar to make it or class than honey, I guess?
I guess, what kind of a sick hive are we talking about?
I don't know. I think it's just a general question to stump us, honestly.
Yeah, it could possibly. When I think about honey, I'm thinking about honey supers. So the sick hive ain't going to put no honey up in a honey super, I don't think, that much.
Yeah, if you have a sick hive, depending on how long it's been sick, you don't have the numbers, right? Yeah. If you don't have the numbers, you don't produce the honey. So I get that.
They got sick afterwards.
Well, I look at it this way. You get a hive out there, let's come springtime, and let's say it's a week, I'll call it a weak hive. And you're trying to get it to go. It's either a queen issue or whatever. It'll never have a honey super put on there anyway, because it's just never going to do anything. Mm-hmm. So you never really kind of get to that point.
Okay. Yeah. Question goes to you, Brad. I want to hear your answer. Look at Mark Miller's comment at 9:39, just about, 8-10 comments up. Right there. Thoughts? Let's hear them.
Depends on why it's sick. I don't know. Depends on why it's sick, really.
Yeah, maybe not from another colony. Maybe for humans it's fine, but not for another colony.
And what was the wording again? Is it just as good?
Hold on.
A sick hive as good. So that's kind of subjective. Good for what?
I'm kind of like Greg Burns on this one. Context is key. What made them sick?
Well, good for human consumption. We don't know why are they sick. Are they sick because they've been into some pesticides? Then maybe not. I don't know. Is it good as in they're sick because they have European foul brood? I don't think that hurts the honey. Even if it does,
Well,
it's
like I said,
toxic to
if it's
people. Even AFB isn't toxic to people.
I know if I get a dead out, I'll use that honey for other hives.
Yeah.
But I won't use it. I won't spin it out and use it to sell.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the honey in the brood box and not in the honey super, because the sick hive ain't gonna.
Is that what he asked?
I don't know. Sick hive ain't gonna make a super of honey.
That wasn't specified. It shouldn't matter.
So if I'm thinking out loud, the one thing I've heard talked about before, I've heard people ask this question many times. I have an old jar of honey. Is there any reason I shouldn't feed it to the bees? And this is comments that I've heard before from people that I actually kind of respect.
Where's the honey come from?
If you don't know the honey or the hive it came out of, or if it was ill, I would not feed that back to bees.
Correct.
Because I believe you can transfer, I don't know about all viruses, but you can transfer some viruses, maybe like, I don't know. You can transfer viruses through.
A jar of honey on the shelf can have American foul brood in it. It's not toxic to people.
Yeah.
Right? So that's not a big deal. You're going to feed that to bees? Well, then it's a big deal.
Yeah. My answer would be, if I don't know where it came from, if I don't know it came out of a healthy hive, okay, I'm like, I would rather take a $25 quart glass, whatever you charge for it, $30, whatever, glass of honey, and tie it up in the bag, throw it in the trash can, and let them haul it off, than to be cheap, potentially, and feed it back to a colony. And now all of a sudden you've got.
So am I doing it wrong then? Once I took and emptied my honey buckets into my bottling tank and I took them out there to let the bees clean them up, I'm going to make all my hives sick?
Not necessarily, because of your hives. And if you had a hive or two that you noticed had European foul brood or something, you probably would think twice about doing that, right? But because it's your honey and they're your hives, you kind of know what's going on in those hives, and you probably at that point have no concerns about
the honey,
the colonies.
The honey was in the honey supers, not in the brood box too.
Yeah, but they'll spread. Bacteria and stuff to those.
It's like Brian says, there sick hives don't tend to make honey. Healthy hives, colonies make honey.
Well, that's regardless, but that wasn't the question. Sick hives will still make honey. They won't make as much. Usually.
So, Charlie, you're not wrong. Okay? You're not wrong. I know what Mark's doing, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. You know.
Yeah, he's been full of those kind of questions.
He has. I mean, I wish he'd come in here and give me some more of these. Some critical thinking here, right? You know, I mean,
he needs to come in now because we're fixing to close the chat down.
Yeah, no, those are good questions, but again, it's usually depends. A lot of variables.
Melissa said he's throwing down Marxisms.
Marxisms, yeah.
Oh, let's not talk about Marxist. I'm from Canada.
No, not Marxist. Marxisms, like Marx, little whatevers.
Yeah,
no,
not
Marxisms.
Yes, Marxisms. Okay. Thank you.
Marxisms,
I'm sorry,
that's different.
Well, it was a play on Marxism.
Before we go, Brian, Flower Street, y'all come in on this Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
At what time? What time would that be?
Well, it'd
Ricky
be what?
Ricky
9 o'clock your time, Joey, Central?
Yeah.
10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central, and 7 Pacific time.
Mountain time. Not Pacific.
I hope I can stay awake long enough to hear it.
10:30 in Newfoundland.
This time change, y'all. I tried to listen to Charlie's. I lasted about 30 minutes and I started getting so sleepy. And then I try to go to bed and I can't go to sleep. And then I wake up at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, man.
That's crazy. So, it'll take me a few months to get straightened out
Hold
again.
on. I have a question for everybody, not beekeeping related.
Okay.
How many, first of all, when you guys go to bed at night, as a general statement, do you guys wake up at night? And if you do, how many times? I mean, if you don't want to share, that's fine.
I wake up about 4 a.m, but my shoulders get to hurting so darn bad. That's why.
Yeah, that's usually my case.
I usually
I'll
wake up at least once.
Yep. I wake up sometimes a couple times a night.
Depends. If I eat, I try to watch my sugar content and I'm fine. I'll sleep. If I could take, like, sometimes I'll take ibuprofen and it'll get me all the way through the morning. And that's a good night.
See, I've got like that too with my rheumatoid. I get to hurting when I lay down too long at one time. But then my wife's little dog he's 9 years old now. He'll be 10 this February. He's got where he can't sleep all night without having to go outside. So he wakes us up. That's getting to be a pain too.
Brian, he says he can't sleep through the night. Well, I think Brian's got some back issues also. But I don't know. It seemed like since June of this year, I had aggravated my upper thoracic area with unloading some hay, and it's gotten better, but for some reason it still gets achy.
And there's a difference between wake up, once or twice, go back to sleep, and wake up, and then 4 hours later you think maybe you're just going to get up out of bed.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like, screw it, this isn't working.
Sometimes
I've had that where, like you say, you had a few things you had to get done anyway. And
yeah, you got some things on your mind.
It was like a sunny morning. My shoulders were hurting so bad. I'm like, let's just get up and go to Walmart.
Yeah. Make a pot of coffee or something.
Charlie, I hate Walmart. I don't like going to Walmart.
I don't like it either because half the time they never have anything stocked.
They never have what you go after.
That's right.
They never have it.
Right. I got these Orange Crush powder mixes that I take a bottle of water in a soda bottle, and then shake it up, and it's non-carb in it. And I take my pills and stuff with it. And it'd go for 2 or 3 months and can't find them on the shelf. But I just got to the point, went to Amazon and got it. And that's the problem. I got one store that they always have stuff stocked, but they're always, all right, a 6-pack of Diet Coke. At that store, it's on sale at $5. You it's 2 6-packs for $10, $5 a piece. But you go, if Walmart's stocked, it's $3.89. It's like, I'm guessing I'm going to go to Walmart if I, need that. And I've started comparing a little bit of different things that I buy there. And Walmart always is a little bit cheaper. But then you'll go in there, let's say a box of cereal. They got the mega box, which I don't really want. And then got the little teeny box, but they don't have that middle of the road family box, cereal. But the other store does.
All right.
Hey, hold on, Joey. Hold on 1 second. We can't leave just yet, all right? Because you just threw that one down there, right? All right. So I got a question, and I want to ask this one to Brad. Okay, Brad, here you go. Thinking cap on. I don't think this is a hard one, honestly. If a colony has EFB, if you have a colony that has EFB, and let's see what kind of scenario I want to throw down. Well, I'm just going to leave this open-ended. If a colony has EFB, what are you going to do to fix it, or do you do anything?
I had it years ago, and I killed the colony.
It kind of depends on severity. Usually, I would just eliminate the colony. I would euthanize and burn.
What? No. I'm sorry. Not AFB. EFB.
I'm
Well,
talking
you're
about EFB.
That's right.
Oh, you'll burn that colony?
I will.
Oh, okay.
I
I
didn't
would
burn the
rather
colony.
like if I had one, if I'm running 100 colonies and I have one or two
Mhm.
that have you know, either lab confirmed or me very confident of an
Mhm.
EFB infection, I'll
I'm really not getting I'm not
euthanize and burn them.
understanding this question.
I don't understand the question either.
Well,
Does
I don't.
EFB?
I don't think it's a question; it's a statement. He's saying what. I think he's saying what happens when a good flow starts. The European foul brood will go away, and so will the sick bees. Which I don't think is wrong, because I think it can clear itself up with some incoming nectar.
I've always heard a flow helps, but I've always heard requeening helps too.
Yep. So I can tell you what Crispin Given said today on EFB. Now, this is not Brad's area. Brad has a shorter condensed season. So that may be why he takes, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, that might be why you would take the necessary steps, because you may not have as long a time to clear up an EFB episode. And it's not worth or risking your other colonies that are all behind you in the yard potentially contracting that. Makes sense to me.
That's right.
But what I would say is, Crispin Given, and I've heard this multiple times before, you can clear up EFB. Yeah. Hey, Brian has been instigating this entire time in the chat in the back. You know that? He's been doing this.
It comes out of risk and reward for me, Tom.
Yeah.
You know, if I've got 50 colonies or 100 or something, and I have two that I'm sure have EFB, they're gone. They are in the fire pit.
Yeah.
Because of risk and reward. I'll replace those, especially if usually when you find EFB, it's going to be earlier in the season.
Yep.
And I'll replace those easy.
Okay.
With $0, right?
I have seen EFB in a couple of hives mine before, and it's typically early in the spring.
Yeah, it's not like I do it a lot. I've seen it maybe once.
Typically early, or when I've seen it before, it was early in the spring, because I sent pictures off to a friend of mine, a very trusted individual, and I said, "What am I looking at?" And he goes, "Looks like EFB. You can do, there's a simple test you can do on it if you want to confirm." And anyway, what I did with that colony is I pulled out, and not all the combs, not all the brood was affected. I only see on like one of them was just on one comb. I pulled the comb out and disposed of it. I think I put it in a trash bag and threw it in the trash so bees couldn't get to it, is what I did. Now there's probably still some ill bees in the colony, so I don't know if I did right or wrong. It cleared itself up, and I did find the queen, pulled her out, squashed her, and I requeened it. And then shortly thereafter, we got on a nectar flow, and it seemed like it disappeared, and I just let it ride. My season's not yours.
My question is what's the queen got to do with it?
Well, I think the queen, if I remember correctly by what he had said, that can be a trait within her genes that, oh man, I don't want to, I think I'm going to get out of my comfort zone here for a minute.
I mean, I've heard that, but I've often wondered, like, all right, she's, is it because she's laying
I think it's because she's kind of a weaker queen.
Yeah.
Stronger queen.
I mean, what Clay talks about there, I've heard of super DFM clearing it up.
It could just be, could be incoming feed. Crispin said it'll purge those issues out of their guts is what it will. I mean, I guess you can use a microbial. I heard another guy today say that none of the microbial, whatever, none of them work.
Supplements.
I don't know that I really agree with that fully. I think there's not been as much research done in those areas.
That's what I say. It's like the guy that I watched, like that PhD guy that was on there, and I watched it 2 or 3, at least a couple times, that video that Bob put out. And he had about a dozen different places you could, that they've been looking at. But I think science has just started to scratch the surface of that.
Seems like it is.
I don't think, maybe another 5 or 10 years from now, they'll have a much more, education on, or know more about it, knowledge base.
Yeah. Okay. There's one more question we have to take real quick, Joey, and then we can close it up. The one that Brian with Flower Street said, we need that to be answered.
All right, Brian,
Throw it down. Let's hear it.
where's this question at?
954. You laughed at it. Let's hear it.
I don't buy it. I plant it.
Oh man, he fooled all of us. Oh. Now we can all sleep tonight, and we won't wake up more than once.
We done got down into the 40s now.
47.
I guess it's a good time to go away. I appreciate everybody coming in and not just picking anybody out, but Brian and Todd's trying to get started with this new chat on Thursday night, so I want to bring them up again. If y'all up that late, go in there and give them show them a little love. All right, I guess it's time to go to bed, and I see all y'all in the back room there in just a minute.
Good night, everyone.
Everybody.
See ya.